That's probably enough.
I can't understand a word they're saying, by the way. And I've never heard this whole theme song in my life. Come on! There we go. Finally, it's Pee-wee.
Pee-wee's Playhouse, Saturday morning. I used to watch this every Saturday.
I've never seen it. I've never. Pete Davis?
I tell you, me and my girlfriend in San Diego, we get up every Saturday morning hungover and sit in bed and eat breakfast and watch Pee-wee's Playhouse.
I've never watched Pee-wee. I know of it, of course.
The talking,
obviously.
the talking chair, the red chair.
Chair.
Howdy ho.
I've never seen the show, and I know, of course, Pee-wee Herman, Paul Reubens is dead at the age of 70. He had cancer that very few people
who got a start on that show? Lawrence Fishburne was, and Phil Hartman was Captain Carl, and Lawrence Fishburne, the actor, was some cowboy.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll be damned. I've seen now again. I have no idea.
Yeah, Phil
anyway,
Hartman.
he died at age 70. Passed away Sunday night. Had privately was battling cancer for years. Apparently, no one, very few people knew. I guess. So through the day, and we were saying, well, gee, we ought to play some of his stuff, but he really didn't do like stand-up bits. He was.
It was sight gags and stuff like that.
When I was pulling some of the audio, a lot of his stuff was so visual.
Yeah. So anyway.
But I got some good stuff to play.
And again, I admit, he never appealed to me. I never once laughed at a thing he did or said. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Pee-wee's his Big Adventure is one of the greatest movies of all time.
I'm sorry, I've never seen it. I know of it, but I would never pay money or even if it's on TV. If it's on TV tonight, I'll watch it.
Large Marge?
Yeah, I know the phrase. I've never seen the individual about whom this was.
The funniest thing was she drops him off in the middle of nowhere and it's dark. And he keeps hearing these animal noises. So he finally, he got a flashlight or a lighter?
So I think it was a lighter.
He turns it on, and there has to be 1,000 wild animals like 2 feet from him.
Well, that's funny. He's
like,
but he was just so. It was just that silly, kind of a thing. It just grated on me.
When he jumped up on the barn.
I never saw it. I'm sorry. I have no idea what that is. I know I'm wrong. I know. I apologize. I should go home now. All right, it's all yours, Pete. Good night, everybody.
Wait a minute. You got tequila in there? Play the.
I don't even know what that is.
That's the one I don't have. Because all it was the song, and him on the table dancing.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, anyway, we're sorry he passed away. And Pete doesn't want me to mention the bad parts of his life.
Yeah, let's.
Well, the man's dead, so.
Jack Posobiec even said.
Well, a couple of things. He was on Blacklist.
Yeah, he was. He's a good actor.
And I never saw that either. I don't know. Is Blacklist is now gone? Isn't it the last year?
I don't want to know because then people call up and start talking about it. Please.
Well, anyway, and I started. I think I watched the first 2 years.
It's a great show.
I really enjoyed it, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah, because I watched the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, me too. And then I
I'm on number 4.
You know what it was? I think there must have been, in the third year, there must have been something that happened that I missed an episode and got lost.
Well, everybody, for a while, it was under the impression, most people thought that he was the father.
No. That's enough.
Hey, ho, ha.
This is why we're not going to talk about it.
Oh, hey. People get to talk about things just because you haven't seen I haven't seen the Kill
it's all about me
either. Oh, my God, man.
Did you not see our new promo thing?
It's the summer of Pete.
It is.
Oh, my God.
I'm wearing a collared shirt today, by God.
Yeah, what the hell happened? What do you even look for?
I'm preaching later.
A job interview? Got some over 680, do you? You bastard. But, by the way, when's the next Holy Crap at Sports podcast? podcast. When's have you done one
later
lately?
tonight, probably right after midnight.
Excellent. Again, Holy Crap at Sports, best podcast sportscast ever going. Anyway, I was speaking of old movies and stuff. You know what I saw this weekend? And by the way, we have some sound about the Hunter Biden, Devon Archer hearing testimony thing. It's over now. Closed door hearing. And you're going to hear a couple of sound bites of that. So we'll do a lot of updates on that as we go through. A lot of presidential stuff, too. President White Trash is also President Deadbeat. But this, over the weekend, I was watching, for some reason, I was going through stuff, and I saw Double Indemnity was on. Have you ever seen that? The original with Fred McMurray and Barbara Stanwyck and Eddie G. Robinson?
Double Indemnity.
Double Indemnity. It's actually the original of what is The Perfect Murder.
Yeah.
Where, well, kind of. It's one of those where the guy wants to kill somebody for the insurance money, and Edward G. Robinson's the insurance guy. Anyway, Fred McMurray is the bad guy. And it's back before he did the, My Three Sons.
Yeah.
But you know what I said? I got the biggest kick out of this in the movie. He's there. He's getting nervous, and he's lighting a cigarette with my friend because Edward G. Robinson's about to kind of do something. He's lighting a cigarette. He pulls out a box of wooden matches, and he takes the end of the wooden match in his thumb and forefinger and snaps the head to light the match with his thumbnail.
Yeah.
We all used to do that. And our thumbnails were black because the fire would already burn the end of your thumb.
I don't believe that.
I swear to God, in fact, I'm
going to bring it in here
tonight. I'm going to go try to find a box of wooden matches. I don't even know where you can get them. I'll bet you can't even find them.
Kimmer was 77.
I'll bet you cannot.
Ace Hardware probably has them.
Where's the nearest Ace Hardware?
They're
Macon?
everywhere.
They're not everywhere. I haven't seen one in 12 years.
Toco Hills. They fired me from that
Let me
one.
go to Toco Hills. I'll get on 400 South, and then I'll go get off at Buckhead, and then I'll wind around where there's where nobody even knows where it is anymore because Buckhead's changed so much.
Don't we have a theme music for this?
Speaking of driving, you want to hear my latest thing?
There's major news.
Okay, let's go. All right, we did Pee Wee, and we teased the thing. Let's go to the thing. All right, now here we go. Devon Archer, Hunter Biden's former business partner, went into the House hearing today. Didn't say anything going in. It's all over, and now coming out. What's his Daniel Goldman is a Republican. A Democratic congressman, which I think is important. Because you're about to hear, Flounder has a little sound here of this Democratic congressman, I guess, acknowledging what they found out today. As much as
doesn't it contradict the president's statement saying that he never talked to any of Hunter Biden business associates? Clearly, he talked, whether it's about the weather or whatever, but he said specifically that he's never talked to them. Doesn't this contradict them?
I don't know what his comment is, and if we're gonna, well, I don't think that's what he said. He never said that he has never spoken to anyone.
Yes, he did.
He said that he had nothing to do with Hunter Biden's business dealings. If he says hello to someone that he sees his son with, is he supposed to say, hi, son? No, I'm not going to say hello to the other people at the table or the other people on the phone. It's kind of a preposterous premise to think that a father should not say hello to people that the son are at dinner with. The son is at dinner with. And that is literally all the evidence is.
That's how they're going to get away with it. They're going to say, just because he said hi on the phone doesn't mean he said, give me your money.
He said they talked about the weather a lot.
Yeah, whether he said hi and nice to meet you.
He put him on speakerphone 20 different times.
Talk about the weather.
We're still getting information. In fact, now who's this guy speaking now? Is this live?
That's Goldman.
Let's go live. This is, that's the Democrat. Well, screw him. No, he's just a freaking liar. We're not giving liars. Again, he said, well, just because, you heard him. You heard him lying. Bald-faced lie, just boom, right there.
He's not the sharpest tool in the bag either.
That's why they sent him out to just lie. I don't know how they live with themselves. He is now admitting that he knows that Joe Biden was in on all these calls with all these foreign people with foreign money, and they're saying, well, just because he was, said, hi, how are you, I want to get to know you, doesn't mean he actually did anything bad. Yes, it does. It's exactly what it means. Am I wrong?
Half the country wants to believe it and will believe it.
My daughter's going to say, see, nothing, it's all gone.
There.
Yeah, you just said hi. How could a father not say hello to his son's friends? I mean, I beg you, America. Oh, my God, my head's exploding. Oh, you bastards, you lying, dirty, stinking frauds.
And justifies the means.
And thank you, Georgia.
All right.
No, we got to bring it
every time.
Let me say this one thing. We are in a listen. You tell me if you disagree. We are in a fight for our lives. We are in a political fight for our lives, and Georgia Republicans don't have the balls for it.
Well, no Republicans do.
So I don't hear the bell, because you know I'm right. 313. It's the Righteous Kimmer right here with Pete and Flounder. Oh, by the way, it's Pete and Flounder. Oh, yeah, hello. Dun, 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 dun. My light's not lit.
That explains everything.
Yes, it is.
No,
You're
it's
using a different mic.
Oh, hell, that's right.
Dumbass. Yeah, your light's not lit, all right.
Oh, and I put this one on the last time, too. God, because I swear, I don't like this setup. This is, if you can see it, what are we on, YouTube or Rumble, or what are we on? YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, something. If you can see it, I hate, look at this. They have these stupid things, they can't lift them up. I mean, it's just, they're horrible. They
You're making it worse. Don't do that.
Quit
touching that.
Anyway, I like to touch it. I'm in here. It's my thing right now. I can do whatever I want. Anyway, this is Sheryl Crow. Thank you. On this day in 2012, Sheryl Crow was granted a temporary restraining order against a man accused of threatening to shoot her The order stated that Philip Gordon Sparks had to stay 90 meters away from Sheryl Crow and must not contact her, her family, or anybody who works with her. 90 meters? Yeah.
What's that?
That's 90 yards. That's 100 yards. Okay, if you can't hit a 6-inch circle from 400 yards with a rifle, you're not a good marksman or sharpshooter. Which I was.
Well, she was running her mouth about Jason Aldean, so who cares anyway?
Yeah, I know. And didn't she do a performance once where she pulled open her jacket and it said "Give peace a chance" or something during the midst of the most deadly 9/11 things or something? I don't know. Anyway, okay, a quick. I don't know. Don't hold me to it.
What a horrible thing to say. Give peace a chance.
Well, what? Birthday. We got news. We got stuff. Right? 318. Well, I swear to God, we don't start off in fifth gear. B.J. Novak has a birthday today. B.J. Novak, Ryan on The Office, is 44 years old. I never really liked his character. I thought he was kind of a stupid
never liked it.
But he's a very well-respected producer and writer and comedy guy. But I never liked his acting at all. That character just didn't fit, especially since they said that Michael Scott had a crush on him. It's not, man, he was his man crush. Remember that at all the diary stuff? And I never saw, anyway, whatever. Anyway, B.J. Novak's 44. He was intern and then became Michael's boss, and then back to being a temp in The Office finale. By the way, I stopped watching The Office after about 2008.
You didn't finish it?
I never saw it.
It was a lovely ending.
Never saw any of the last.
When Michael left, it was a lovely ending.
I never saw any of it. In The Office finale, and again, I'm saying I didn't see it, so I'm spoiling alert for me because I don't care. But if you don't want to know the end of The Office finale, don't listen. Okay. Well, I mean, you other generic.
No, it's all about
people listening. Well, it is the Summer of Pete. So, in The Office finale, he gave up his own baby to a complete stranger to run away with Kelly. That stranger was Kelly's boyfriend. A perfect ending for their characters. The boy, not the guy from the warehouse, the black guy.
I don't remember how it
was
ended.
Long gone. Anyway,
I don't remember how it ended.
I don't care. All right, BJ, Okie doke. Paul Reubens, Wee Herman dead at 70, cancer. Nobody knew about it. Most people didn't know about it. Again, the hearing. This is amazing. The Democrat, you heard. Do we have another soundbite of him, by the way, Flounder? You have a second bite? Can we play that here? Here's another. This is Representative Daniel Goldman, a lying Democrat who says Biden never said he never knew anything about the business.
So to confirm, you're saying that the speakerphone conversations, they don't seem concerning to you because there was no specifics about business, and it just seemed like
it was clear that it was as part of the daily conversations that Hunter Biden had with his father
about business,
and it was and sounded like most of the time President Biden didn't even know who the people he was at dinner. He was just asked to say hello.
Oh, please.
And he would, talk about
the weather.
He described it several times. They asked over and over and over. He described what the weather was, how what's going on your end. The witness was very consistent that none of those conversations ever had to do with any business dealings or transactions. They were purely what he called casual conversations.
By definition, they had to do with his business meeting because he was in a, altogether now, business meeting, ladies and gentlemen. That's how they're going to get away with it.
They'll believe it because they want to believe it.
Had nothing to do with, It was weather, and it was like Hillary's, Rodham Pea Stinky Fart Cabbages, mostly recipes and yoga positions with her
How's
mom.
the golf game?
Yeah.
Ahmed? Rasputin.
Oh, my.
Shoot 80 on the back nine?
Oh, my God. And then, isn't it curious that the Department of Justice sent a letter just a couple of days before this guy was testifying, Devin Archer testifying today before the committee, saying, we need to get a set of time for your long-time prison sentence before you testify against your former partner there, sir. And I mean, of course, the Republicans are saying, wait a minute, if this isn't just more pressure and corruption. Here, in fact, Comer said the lengths to which the Biden legal team has gone to try to intimidate our witnesses, to coordinate with the Department of Justice and certainly coordinate with the Democrats on the House Oversight Committee to encourage people not to cooperate with our investigation, to encourage banks not to turn over bank records, to encourage Treasury not to let us have access to those suspicious activity reports. It's very troubling, and I believe that this is another violation of the law, obstruction of justice. They're still doing it. They're still refusing to turn over evidence and documents, and I mean, it's just unbelievable. How is it possible there's not a special prosecutor and an independent counsel to investigate? Because this is all tied in together.
There should never be another special prosecutor, because nothing comes to this level. Watergate, nothing comes to this level like this has.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. And Comer makes a point. This guy now has an opportunity to be a hero, like the two whistleblowers were, and the judge in Delaware who rejected the sweetheart deal. Again, the Department of Justice's own lawyers made a deal with Hunter Biden's lawyers to hide the document that would give him immunity from everything else he's done. They tried to trick the judge. How come she hasn't put Alden in jail?
I know. And then they tried to
contempt of court.
A mafia boss over the weekend, the DOJ, and trying to intimidate the witness
with that letter. And Comer says, "How else do you explain this?" Oh my God. Devin Archer be in the category of Americans just come to tell the truth. That's all we want. We know that Devin Archer was on the board of Burisma with Hunter. Devin has met and communicated many times with Joe about Burisma and other things. This is going to be an opportunity to tell the truth. Now, what bothers me is tell them about the Republican who came out and didn't say squat. Our friend Jim Jordan.
Jordan pretty much came out and said, well, there was some productive stuff from this. Oh, boy.
All right, that's not good.
It's over.
You know,
okay, all Devin had to say was, it was all about business, and the president talked about business. That's all he had to say. Yeah. Did he say that? It doesn't look like he said that.
Well, again, it's early. We've only heard comments, audio comments from one guy, and that's the Democrat who's a liar, who said, well, President Biden never said that he's never talked business. He said it 1,000 times.
The sunny again in Brunei.
My God. So, I mean, the man's just, he's a born liar. But that's all we've heard so far. We haven't heard a single Republican. And
he finally came out. The piece of crap finally came out and acknowledged he has a seventh.
Well, let's talk about that now. That's just absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
When the New York Times chastises you.
Well, he publicly, and by the way, talk about taking it out with the trash. In journalism circles, and especially in political circles, if there's something that an administration wants to say that they've released, but they don't really want anybody to pay attention to it, it's called taking it out with the trash on Friday afternoon or Friday evening. And so late Friday, there was an acknowledgement statement from President White Trash, and it said, our son Hunter and Navy's mother, London, are working together to foster a relationship that is the best interest of their daughter, preserving her privacy as much as possible going forward. Jill and I only want what's best for our grandchildren, and he said that we one day want to meet them. He used to say, I have 6 grandchildren. You'll recall he put a stocking up for the dog at Christmas, but only 6 stockings for grandkids. He used to brag, quote, I speak to them every day, not a joke, unquote. Well, he's told his son he wants to meet Navy when the time was right. Another person said the president would say that he had 7 grandchildren going forward. Again, his staff was told, don't ever say that President White Trash has 7 grandkids. And now all that's changed. And the reason, in fact, the reason it's changed is for reasons like this. Even on the disgraceful, God, what happened to CNN? I can't get over it. During Gulf War I, everybody watched CNN. It was the source of news 24 hours. And I mean, it brought us everything that was going on right. Anyway, okay, CNN now these days. Panel discussion over the 7th grandchild. Got kind of funny. Casey Hunt at CNN asked a former presidential assistant, Michael LaRosa, why it took so long for the Bidens to acknowledge they have 7 grandkids. And LaRosa's here's the Biden guy says, well, I respect you as a journalist for asking the question, but it's a very gross and uncomfortable subject to talk about. Luckily, the host said, let's not call a little girl gross. And he says, I'm talking about the inner sanctum of a family and the privacy of what goes on in a family, and it shouldn't be weaponized by Republicans. Everybody's welcome to make their own personal judgments on the Bidens, and frankly, they're a family, a real family with real feelings and real struggles and challenges like every family. I guarantee you that more than the Republicans make this an issue, it will not work. Voters appreciate it, and they relate to having struggles in their own families like the Bidens. They root for people with vulnerability. They say root for people who understand and relate to them. Ultimately, the Bidens are a real family just like everyone else. Then political commentator Scott Jennings was asked about being this family man business. Golly. It's not Republicans, with all due respect, who made Hunter Biden into a complete scumbag. The ignoring his own daughter for 4 years, and the president of the United States hanging up a stocking for the dog and not his 7th grandchild. I mean, my God.
You know the sad thing about this?
Yeah.
Is they're going to drag that poor little girl out as a political prop now.
I know.
From till now to the election.
Well, after he said we only want what's best for our grandchildren, you dirty freaking liar. You're white trash. Absolute trash. White trash. And some of the responses, oh boy, what a hero. The polling around here must have been brutal. Yeah. Absolutely brutal for him to have to suddenly, frankly, acknowledge it.
This is all politics.
Oh, exactly.
They're not a family. It's politics.
The only thing it is. And by the way, coming up, you're going to hear Donald Trump making some comments about the president of white trash. Also, some security precautions because Atlanta, as you know, according to Fulton disgraceful attorney, I'm sorry, I meant disgraceful attorney, Fannie Chicken Liver. Apparently, the MAGA Republicans are going to burn down Atlanta and slaughter everybody within 15 miles of the courthouses. Apparently, they're getting ready for a Holocaust, but they're going to say that all you Republicans are going to slaughter everyone who's not a Republican when Donald Trump has the indictment coming. So yeah, just be clear, they're preparing for it, like they always do. You think I'm exaggerating? These people are trying to start something, and they're going to do it. Anyway, we got a billion things and stuff, and we got tweets, and we got what do you think we do? Skynet, yeah. And actual
all the
stuff.
things we don't do for a week at a time.
We forgot this time. 3:29. All right, here we go. It's all right. 334. You know how I know? Oh, never mind. It's only me. It's only Kimmer. Yeah, look out. Here we go. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Flounder and intern New Nick back there with Boy George on this day in 2006. Former Culture Club singer Boy George O'Dowd was former. When did they? I didn't know. I don't know anything about their group.
Who?
Boy George says former Culture Club singer Boy George in 2006.
Well, they broke up a long time ago. Yeah.
I have no idea. He was Boy George ordered to do community service by picking up trash on the streets of New York City after pleading guilty the March before, raising false reporting of an incident. He had called, I remember this. He had called police with a bogus report of a burglary at his Manhattan apartment in October, and the cops found cocaine in there. Wasn't he trying to get rid of a bad date or something? It was roughing him up, or I'm thinking about something weird here.
Well, you're projecting.
No, he was. It was a bogus report of a burglary, and I was trying to cover his ass for something, and I forgot what it was.
I don't know.
Anyway,
cover his what?
I didn't say that. Quick birthday, our buddy Zach Brown, country superstar, biggest hits: Chicken Fried Toes, Need Him, Jimmy Buffett stuff. Zach Brown's 45 today, and we salute him as a great and honest American. Let's see. I don't have much history left today. I left mine home like an idiot.
Shame.
Well, I come. It's unbelievable. By the way, I never even mentioned.
You had one job.
I know. I do. I spend hours every freaking night and every morning, starting at 6 a.m. until I get in the shower and then driving to work. All this time, and I left home. One of my things I'd spent hours on last night. I left it home. Sorry. Well, I've lost another 4 pounds. I don't know what, I can't work out a schedule. It's just,
okay, we're doing this over 2 months now.
Yeah.
When's the schedule going to kick in?
We're not going to have a schedule. Flounder, how was your weekend?
It was great.
We never talked about your weekend. And you were boating it, I think? Or?
I went up to Lake Hartwell. And just hung out on the dock and hung out on the pontoon boat.
Just yourself? You by yourself, I'm guessing?
I was with Veronica and some family friends.
Well, squeezing information on this worse than you. No. I mean, I said, so now, have we, do we have some maybe photographs of some boating with Miss Veronica and you together?
He's not going to show you bikini shots.
Maybe, we didn't take any photos.
Enjoy.
I mean, sorry.
Come on, man. God. This is all I got.
Too busy hiding his organs.
It's not about you.
It is too. Sorry. And Pete, how about you, sir?
That's none of your damn business. No. Friday night, I got my spaghetti fixing. I made me a big old thing of spaghetti, which I still haven't finished. And then Saturday, I made homemade ice cream.
All right, but now hold on. First of all, let's get to the spaghetti. What do you mean you made spaghetti? You just boiled spaghetti and ate it on a plate?
I had pasta, and I got meat, and I have a special way of making the sauce, which is my own way of doing it.
Well, I mean, you say, is it special spices, or you have ground beef and tomato sauce, or what? I mean, how do you make your sauce?
It has tomato sauce, but I add basil and oregano and big chunks of tomatoes.
Yeah.
It's the only time I like tomato is when it's like in spaghetti. The big old chunks of juicy tomato.
I think I agree with that.
And Parmesan. I love Parmesan cheese on top.
Okay, there you go. Now, and what about the ice cream?
Oh, the homemade ice cream.
And what did you put in the bucket? You have a bucket. What did you put in the bucket?
What I put in the bucket? Well, you got to have the heavy whipping cream.
All right, heavy cream.
And milk and cream. And
what else? Heavy cream and
cornstarch. For some reason, you put a little cornstarch in there and a little salt.
Hold it together?
I guess so. Yeah. Like that. And it came out great, but I was greedy. I was so in a hurry to eat it.
Yeah.
It says always take the spinning thing. What do you call it? The mixer.
Yeah.
Take that out and clean that off.
Yeah.
And then put it in the. I put it in the freezer, and it's frozen solid.
Now, what kind of well, hold on a minute. So you put cream and milk heavy cream.
And cornstarch and salt and
that made ice. And you put ice.
And you put ice around it with rock salt on the layers of ice as you build it up, and it takes 25 minutes, and you got ice cream.
All right, but now what about flavoring?
Oh, vanilla. I put vanilla. I just like
drops of
vanilla. Yeah, not drops. I put like 3 teaspoons. I love vanilla.
The little jars that say vanilla flavoring, kind of. Yeah,
that's right.
Okay, cool.
That's good stuff, Mater.
Well,
that's the most important thing is the vanilla.
Well, and
eggs. You gotta have eggs.
Well, now you left that out.
5 eggs.
5 eggs in ice cream?
5 eggs, baby.
Is he lying? Is that true?
And the thing is, he wanted me to bring
ice
some.
cream. So.
Huh? Flounder says, bring me some. I said, I can't because it has no preservatives. It melts instantly. Yeah.
5 eggs in
I said 5 eggs.
All right, I want you to look up the recipe of any Breyer or Heineken or whatever. What's the name of
Heineken ice cream.
Heineken ice cream. Okay, I don't know. And see if anybody in the world ever puts eggs in ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
Are you telling me there's eggs in everybody's ice cream?
I don't know that.
Well, I want you to Google now. You have time to Google.
Somebody call and tell us. Give the number.
I've never heard of 5 eggs in a gallon of ice cream.
5 eggs.
404-741-1230.
Thank you.
Yeah, we love phone calls. We know you don't.
So Haagen-Dazs probably. Ben & Jerry's probably does. I know they put a lot of cream in.
I had no idea.
By the way, if you don't have any heavy cream, and heavy whipping cream's the same thing, you know how you can make it at home?
I do not.
2/3 a cup of whole milk and 1/3 a cup of unsalted butter, and you melt the butter and then you mix it all together, and that is heavy cream.
Yeah, I guess. Well, where do you get unsalted butter though? You have to look for it special.
No, I get unsalted butter every time. It's right next to the salted. Everybody has a choice.
Well, I always choose salted butter.
Why?
Because
it's bad for
better.
you. It's bad
it's
for
the
you.
high test.
You can't tell. I bet if we did a taste test right in here
that's
on
your
Thursday,
for Thursday,
we're going to bring salted butter in.
Salted butter and wooden matches. You bring in wooden matches.
You cannot
and salted
set matches off in here.
Why not?
Because you're burning the place down knowing
you can light a match.
This whole thing
here.
behind you is flammable.
Wait a minute. You tell me I can't light a match in the studio?
No, cannot. Right. Tell him no.
Yep, that's part of the rules.
Yeah, no matches.
I've never heard of such. I used to be able to smoke in the studios.
They kicked us at GST. They kicked us out in the patio in the 90s.
I know. They dipsticks. All right, what do you want to do now? I don't know where we are.
All right, well, how about
totally distracted?
You could talk about the Elon Musk and the colleges. He's ranting on the colleges.
Let's do the Donald Trump thing real quickly. You want to do the soundbite of Donald Trump over the weekend? Well, I'm sorry. I had it right here in front of me. Donald Trump in Iowa's biggest political event. And first of all, the social reaction was, I didn't see it. I saw like 30 seconds of it. Brooks and Dunn crooned the song Only in America, which was played for every one of the candidates as they began their 10-minute speeches going up on stage. Brooks and Dunn, the song Only in America. Unfortunately, the lyrics to Only in America include one kid dreams of fame and fortune, one kid helps pay the rent, one could end up going to prison, one just might be president. And they were saying one might just be going to prison, one could be president, as Donald Trump approached the stage, ladies and gentlemen. And people were saying, whoa, my God, did you do that on purpose? I mean, social media was going nuts about this. And apparently Donald Trump was ticked. He was, I guess the story is he was really furious at Iowa's Governor Kim Reynolds over the song choice. The state attorney for Palm Beach County, though, who is supporting, I think he's supporting Tim Scott. He says, the GOP strategist said on the commentary, Trump is finally understanding that Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds didn't get her job just because she fell off a turnip truck. She's a big Tim Scott event host person and treated him with due respect. So he apparently thinks she did it on purpose. Chose it all.
Good for her if she did. It's funny.
That's exactly. But anyway, what the hell? They all went through it, so what's the problem? Anyway, here's Donald Trump talking about President White Trash.
We have a guy who's a dumb son of a bitch, and to allow this to happen, our country.
Dumb son of a bitch.
He always says one bad word. But you know what I also noticed, and again, I didn't watch much of the speech. I forgot what's going on. But all of his speeches, I'm getting less and less interested. If Donald Trump is going to speak tonight or tomorrow night or something, I may or may not listen to it.
So you've heard everything.
That's what I mean, it's the same. Isn't it kind of the same?
Not really.
I don't know.
It's still entertaining.
Yeah, that's true. But for some reason, 6 months ago, I said, "Oh my God, Trump's speaking," and I wouldn't miss it.
Well, you're like most people. You've made up your mind. If he's the nominee, you're going to vote for him. The other side, if he's the nominee, they're not going to vote for him. They've made up their mind.
Yeah.
And apparently, right now, he's got over a 50% margin over everybody.
Yeah,
and the Republicans.
It's getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, it's over unless something happens.
Yeah. And Fulton County's District Attorney Fannie Chicken Liver is getting, she says, security precautions are beginning an expectation of Donald Trump in the Fulton County Courthouse. Visible signs of extra security for the former president next month. Local, state, and federal law enforcement are enhancing security ahead of the high-profile legal proceedings. Focus is on protecting the residents of Atlanta and Fulton County. Well, apparently, all clean-cut white males driving in the danger zone will be strip searched and have their vehicles impounded, according to Fannie Chicken Liver. Any children under the age of 12, who obviously would be victims of MAGA brainwashing, who just wanted to be seeing the impending riot and massacre they're predicting, will be put into the security cages of social services left over from the Barack Hussein Puttitat administration. And DA Fannie Chicken Liver will personally have their names put into her secret permanent record of cross-checking on their party affiliation. If Republican, another special grand jury headed by that witch lady with all the potions and spells. Remember her? She actually had witches, potions, and spells. Special grand jury to go get Donald Trump. And now they're everything they can to try to divide our community. Oh my God, the MAGA Republican, we got to put up all the barriers, baby. It was the Democrats who burned down the freaking Wendy's who caused the problem, you chicken liver. And that's why I called her that spineless coward, because she refused to take on the cops to let them go free. As they should have gone free. She was afraid to take it on because she was afraid of the black backlash, because you're a freaking chicken and a coward. You spineless, gutless wimp. There's your Fulton disgusting DA. What a joke. Hell, I'm running for it next year. I live in Fulton County, 345. Maybe. There we go. Oopsie. Ooh, I just got the double headphone stereo thing going on there. I just guess.
Wow, it's a red letter day for you. Unsalted butter and now the stereo thing.
Now, we got some feedback, YouTube feedback.
Yeah, Mark says Kimber discovers unsalted butter. Film at 11. I can't believe you didn't know that. It's right next to all the other butter.
I think I've seen it before, but why in the world would you buy unsalted anything if you can get it with salt? Salt's always better than unsalt.
Not good for you.
I don't care if it's good for you. I'm talking about better.
I guarantee you can't tell.
Well, it's one of the few. I mean, my God, how many things of salt how many things of salted butter do you put on anything to eat during the day? Maybe 1/16 of a teaspoon a week. So that's going to kill you.
There's baked potatoes. There's bread. There's all kinds of stuff you put butter in.
People don't eat baked potatoes and bread every night. You'd have to eat. It's like this. Aspartame. Aspartame. It's going to cause. Yeah. If you had 9,000 packs of aspartame every 2 hours for 12 years, you might get a tumor.
People don't eat that because it tastes like aspartame.
No, it's better than sugar. It's sweeter than sugar.
Wait, what?
Aspartame is sweeter than sugar.
It's not better than sugar, though.
It's sweeter.
Straight sugarcane sugar? Come on. My grandparents used to give us cut up sugar cane from the field and let us chew on that.
I'm not denying. I'm saying those are wonderful. I'm just saying if you want to sweeten your coffee, if you put in 2 things of sugar and then the next one you put in 2 things of aspartame is sweeter.
I don't drink coffee, so.
Oh, dear God.
That doesn't help me at all. That analogy just sucks.
You're like a freaking Democrat. Well, they were talking about the weather. That's not what I was saying. Anyway, we haven't heard the song yet. Flounder, a little song here. I'm sorry.
Song's over.
It's over. My dear God. I should have called in.
Thank you. Gwendolyn, certain recipes call for unsalted butter, especially desserts.
Well, I will believe Miss Gwendolyn because she's truly a Kimmer babe who's trying to help the discussion. You, on the other hand, are a pain in the ass, and you always have been. But in the meantime, on this day and night, I got to put him in.
Oh, wait a second.
Yeah.
Bishop says, G. Gordon Liddy says in his autobiography, when he was in prison, inmates smuggled vanilla ice cream with eggs to him in exchange for legal help.
I'll be damned. Well, there you are. 1992 with Goodbye, Michael. We ran right through the old song, did we? 1992, Michael Jackson made an unscheduled appearance on his hotel balcony in London after a man had threatened to jump from an apartment building across the street. The 28-year-old guy told police he'd leap to his death if he didn't see Michael Jackson. This is 1992 in London. Jackson was in Britain for a series of concerts. Jackson spent a couple of minutes waving to the guy, who then climbed back into the building and saved him from jumping. God knows I don't know what I would.
I know what you would have done. You would have yelled jump.
Well, that guy was on the bridge that time. The bridge, in fact, we knew him. At the time, I didn't know him, but as it turned out later, we knew him. It was worked with him, actually. Yeah. And it was like 4:30 in the afternoon, rush hour traffic over I-85, or 285 was just something, an overpass. And all the traffic was stopped both directions, and the ambulances and firemen. And
wasn't it the downtown connector going to the airport?
No, I think it was Spaghetti Junction.
Because there were 2 jumpers. One was him and one was another guy.
Anyway, the one I'm thinking of, either way, it was over an overpass, and it was like, 16 feet from the ground. And I remember saying, wait, you mean to tell me that they will hose him off? And I told the people driving their cars going by there, I say, honk your horn and tell them, jump, you bastards, jump. You've been messing up rush hour. What, are you going to break an ankle? A poor guy might break an arm and a hip or something. Gee, that's too bad. People have to get where they're going.
And what did you and Wayne play?
We played.
You played Van Halen's Jump.
With
and
Van
you told
Halen.
Everybody to turn up their radio.
And jump. And in fact.
then a few months later.
I got to tell the story. A few months later, it may have been just a couple of weeks later, but it was shortly after that. Again, I'm telling the guy to jump. Shortly after that, the little underground newspaper, which was called the
Creative
Loafing, had a political cartoon, and the political cartoon was basically me sitting at me sitting at the phone bank answering the phone to the local suicide hotline. And I'm quoted in the paper as I recall saying, I don't give a damn. Go ahead and jump, you idiot. Go ahead and jump. And the guy next to me is talking to someone and said, oh, that's that host from the WGST talk show helping out today or something. It just, it was true. They nailed me pretty good.
And then a few months later, one of our bosses came in and says, oh, we got a new talk show host. Oh, who is it? And they said the name. And we're like, that name sounds familiar. Wasn't that the idiot that was on the...
Yeah, that was the guy.
And the thing was, we used to play tennis. He was a great guy.
I know. He had a thing. He had
a bad day.
He had a thing, and he was upset. I forgot even what was upset about.
Like Michael Douglas. And what was that movie? Fallen. No. What was the Michael Douglas movie where he breaking or fall?
Oh, breaking. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was awful. I think I saw a part.
That was a good movie.
Like I said, it was a great movie, but
I thought he was a hero.
Falling down.
There we are.
Yeah.
There we are.
I mean, how many times have you been in traffic and just sat there and like he did and just... I could lose it right now.
Well, did you see my video Friday night? I was talking about the concerts.
Get the music.
I'm there Friday. I
thought you were driving.
Friday night, going home, and there's no way to go. It's where the stupid amphitheater is, and it was this redneck rock band or something. And I guess people love them. The crowd was mobbed, and so in fact I took all back roads. I put thanks to New Nick all back roads only on my ways to go home, and I did it all was great. I got home and in good time. Same as trying to do it. And I get within 500 yards of my entrance to my cul-de-sac, and boom, there's nothing but cars backed up all the way. It took me, and in fact, I documented this on the phone, and it got even worse. It took 25 minutes to go 15 yards, and I had 300 yards to go. And finally, and people said, well, why didn't you gun it in the other lane? There's nobody there. Well, there were cars there from over the hill. There are 3 cops, for one thing, directing traffic and allowing people to take a left in front of us on this lane to get into the parking areas. And it's just madness. There's just too many cars and nothing you can do about it. And so I finally, after 45 minutes to go 80 yards, for God's sakes. So now I'm going, it's like 8 o'clock at night to figure out what I want for dinner. Anyway, and so then Saturday, when I did a second trip, and there's, oh my God. So there's a concert Wednesday night, Friday night, Saturday night. And Saturday night, I couldn't get out of my apartment, my condo, because the townhouse, because the cars were everywhere. And they used to have a cop there, but now they don't for the townhouse community. And so I had to, wait until someone would finally get the hell out of the way to let me out of my freaking place.
Good thing you had those cookies in your car.
And now it's for Nickelback on Sunday. I didn't even leave the house after 4 o'clock Sunday. There was no way to go anywhere. I knew I would not get anywhere.
Who goes
and
to see Nickelback still?
Apparently 1,000,005 people.
How many Canadians do we have here?
79 million people went to see Nickelback. No question about it. God, jeez. Holy criminy. Anyway, and by the way, today coming in, I got to drive on a street called Oxbow.
Like the Oxbow incident.
Which was a Western novel and movie with Henry Fonda and Henry Morgan.
Yeah, and a famous painting, the Oxbow or something. It's a famous painting.
I don't remember. I did not know that. Is that by the famous?
I think Church drew that one.
I don't know who that is. Anyway, it's 3:58 already. Coming up, you're not going to talk about the Barbie Guy Twitter sports host thing? In sports, this is
no, because he got fired. I don't want to touch it.
I don't believe it. Well,
stupid.
Here's what happened. A sports radio guy in Washington, known as Don Geronimo, not his real name, was covering the Washington Commanders, and he made some comments concerning a female reporter named Charla McBride, who looks like a Barbie doll. She looks like a swimsuit model. She's a gorgeous woman. Looks like a Barbie doll, and he said he was on the air at their training camp facilities in Virginia, and he said, "Hey, look, Barbie's here. Hi, Barbie girl," shouting toward her while on the air. I'm guessing she's a cheerleader. The co-host then said, later in a broadcast, said, "Oh, that's the one you thought was pretty tight." He says, "Yeah, I screamed tight when she was, man." Then they cut him off. He said, "I thought she was a cheerleader." 2 days later, the team, the Washington Commanders, blocked iHeartMedia from covering the team, and they fired the guy, Don Geronimo. Got fired.
And he says something else, which I can't remember, that was worse than any of those other things.
They made disparaging remarks. She was offended.
When he said tight, that was pushing it. Yeah.
But again, holy cow, fired?
Well, the Commanders just went through the whole thing with Dan Snyder.
Here we all of a sudden
and the sexual harassment.
Now the wokeness and the Me Too is coming back with overreacting, maybe? Losing your career because he said, hi, Barbie? Holy mackerel. All right, 3:59.3. I'm late. I'm sorry. Sorry. No, we're here. Really, swear to God. 403. Look out. Here we go. Hope this is the Eagles. Here we go. I like this song. I've always liked this song.
Great song.
I'm not going to talk for a moment. Ba-bum. Boom, boom, ba, bum, tonight. Boom, 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 all around.
Who sings it?
The Eagles.
Let's keep it that way.
Thank you. Easy feeling, yeah, baby. Come on over here and give you some little sugar. The Eagles.
Oh no! Come over here and give me some aspartame.
Ready. The crowd. 1980, during an Eagles concert at Long Beach, California. Tempers boiled over between Glenn Frey and Don Felder, who spent the entire show describing to each other the beating each is going to give the other backstage. Only 3 more songs until I kick your ass, pal. Glenn Frey told Felder. The group's next album was mixed by Frey and Felder on opposite coasts after the two decided they just cannot bear to be in the the same state, let alone the same studio.
And you could tell because they did one of their goodbye tours in either 79 or 80 and at the Omni, and we went to see it. It was the worst concert I've ever been to because you could tell none of them wanted to be there.
Really?
It was lackluster. It was horrible.
When was this?
What was that last album they put out?
When they had their fight.
The Long Goodbye or something. I forget the name of the sucker. And The Long Run tour. And it was 79, 80, 81, and it was horrendous.
Yeah, this is the July 80.
Probably that tour.
So I'll be damned. Wow. Quick birthday of note, actor and former Superman and Kara's dad on Supergirl, Dean Cain, is 57 today, another conservative. One of the few in Hollywood, which is nice. A couple of things. Paul Reubens, Wee Herman, dead at 70. He had cancer. And we were just saying it's amazing. He apparently had it for years. And it's amazing nobody knew about it.
No one dropped a dime to TMZ. Yeah, it's amazing.
Years. It doesn't say what kind of cancer. Do you know? Did it say anywhere where you are? What kind?
The deadly kind.
Well, I mean, it probably wasn't, well, I won't say it in case somebody's listening has what I'm about to mention, but there are several. I mean, I've lost several friends who, found out one day they had cancer and they were dead in a week. Hell, Skinny Bobby Harper had about 2 weeks' notice. He was in the hospital and he said, by the way, and he said, and in fact, I remember talking to him and with his friends, and they said, don't say anything on the air. He doesn't want anybody to know until it was over. And it was literally like 10 days. I mean, it was very shocking. Anyway, so he had this for years. I'm surprised that nobody knew. He's only 70 years old. Only, I say. Well, the older, I'm getting up there. I know. How come it was him and not you, Peterson? Oh, sorry. All right. Well, no, people are saying that right now, I guarantee you. In fact, Sophia, I guarantee, is typing in right now on YouTube. Rumble or someplace.
Sophia said she liked Pee Wee Herman. She said
everybody in America liked Pee Wee Herman, thought he was the greatest comedian, except me. I'm the only person.
Here's some funny Pee Wee right now.
Here we come now.
Morning, Pee Wee.
Look, Francis.
Today is my birthday, and my father said I can have anything I want.
Good for you and your father.
So guess what I want?
A new brain.
No, your bike. What's so funny, Pee Wee?
It's not for sale, Francis.
My father says everything's negotiable. Pee Wee.
I wouldn't sell my bike for all the money in the world. Not for $100 billion, million, trillion dollars.
Then you're crazy.
I know you are, but what am I?
You're a nerd.
I know you are, but what am I?
You're an idiot.
I know you are, but what am I?
I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I?
I know you are, but what am I? Infinity.
No, I'm not. You are. No way! Knock it off! Cut it out! Oh, shut up, Pee Wee.
Why don't you make me?
Why don't you make me?
Because I don't make monkeys. I just train them.
Oh, Pee Wee, listen to reason.
Francis always reminded me of Rush Limbaugh. He looked like a young Rush Limbaugh.
He kind of does, actually.
You had to be there, Kimber. It's funny.
Yeah, that was my cheeks are burning with the laughter alone. I mean, just the hysteria I'm feeling inside.
When they get to the Alamo, the whole thing. They get to the Alamo.
That was the most annoying comment
because he thought his bike was stolen, and he thought it was in the basement of the Alamo.
The Alamo.
The guy goes, "There's no basement in the Alamo."
Davy Crockett was digging a basement in the Alamo for the Santanas.
What's your name?
I can't remember.
Where are you from?
I can't remember.
Can't you remember anything?
I remember the Alamo.
I remember the Alamo. No, that's funny. That's funny. Okay, well, I take it back. I mean, I guess watch
the movie.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it.
I'll bet it'll be on tonight.
Somewhere.
And the sequel wasn't bad. It had that hot Italian actress in it.
The farmer, when he was on the farm?
He joined the circus.
Oh, that's okay, yeah.
And it wasn't bad, but it wasn't as good as the first one.
In fact, what did it say? His 2016 Netflix movie, Pee-wee's Big Holiday, was 2016. And he was on a Broadway revival in 2010.
And a few years ago on Netflix, he did one with...
He was Playhouse 86 to 91 in the big movie, 88 movie, Big Top Pee-wee.
Big Top Pee was what I was talking about. But a few years ago, about 5 or 6 years ago, he did another one for Netflix with Joe Manganiello, the
Pee-wee's Big Holiday.
husband of
2016 on Netflix. It says.
Was that? Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
You said it. Okay.
Pee-wee's Big Holiday in 2016 Netflix.
It was okay.
Anyway, and Pee-wee is 70 years old and died. Also in the news, what is that? 410 already. This is disgusting, and I'm going to just tell you about it because you probably, it's disgusting, and you should know that this happens to people that you watch and you supposedly respect. A former ABC News journalist named James Gordon Meek from Arlington, Virginia, 53 years old, a former investigative journalist for ABC News. He joined the ABC Washington Bureau as an investigative reporter in 2013, worked for the New York Daily News. He was a senior counterterrorism advisor and investigator for the House Committee on Homeland Security until there was a FBI search of his home. And apparently, somebody tipped off some authorities, a tip from to the Federal Gestapo for investigation about a Dropbox where video showing sexual abuse of children in an account with which he was associated. James Meek, 53. He admitted using an iPhone to exchange child pornography, including a video showing the sexual abuse of an infant while chatting with other individuals. And they found dozens of child porn images and videos going back 9 years at least. He would use Snapchat and other apps to pressure minors into sending him explicit sexual images, would portray himself as a girl in the communications. He only faces 40 years in prison. He said to a friend, have you ever raped a toddler? It's amazing.
And he's an ABC producer that had helped debunk the Pizzagate story of Hillary.
That's right. Yeah. He said, there's no child pornography thing in this pizza business. No. That's nonsense. Good God.
History's going to look back at this time and our leaders and just... They're going to vilify us for allowing this.
Well, and guess what? The Miss Italy, and now you remember back the Netherlands just elected, Miss Netherlands contest just elected a man. Let's see, Miss Italy pageant is now did something different. They said entrants for the Miss Italy pageant have to be a woman from birth, unquote. So 100 men who are trannies have entered the Miss Italy pageant in protest of the new policy. They were born girls but have become men. The policy came on the heels of a transgender contestant's win in the Miss Netherlands pageant, and so they wanted to crack down in Italy. So one guy says, I'm kind of amused by it. He says, I was assigned female at birth, but they would reject me because I look like a boy. They would consider me a boy. So 100 trannies, men, have now signed up to be the Miss Italy contestants.
Wait a minute. They're proving our point here.
Yeah.
They're not real women.
Exactly.
Or the men in this case.
They're not real men.
They're still women.
Right. They're still women. And so now they're trying to prove that because they've now become men, even though they were born women, therefore clearly if you're born a woman, you're a woman.
Always.
So they've kind of actually protested against themselves,
yes,
proving that a man can't be a woman because otherwise you wouldn't be able to be in the Miss Italy contest.
I rest our case.
Thank you. I mean, amazing. It's a total switcheroony.
And we got proof that Joe Biden is innocent.
Oh, my, thank God, because we're all going to vote for him. I mean, he's saving our country.
When we come back.
All right, 4:13 with the Kimber Pete Flounder and new Nick back there. Here we go. Look out. Stand by. We did an audible. Here's Moni Boney by Tommy James and the Shondells. I remember this song very well. 1968, Tommy and the Shondells were at number 1 in the British charts with Moni Moni, a big hit for Billy Idol in 1987. I had forgotten that. I remember the 68 version, barely. Because that was a rather unusual year for the camera. But anyway, seriously, not that I know anything. Birthdays include J.K. Rowling, 58 years old. British brilliant writer, gave us Harry Potter books, now richer than the Queen of England. Probably no coincidence that in the books, Harry's birthday is July 31st, which
1980.
Is also her birthday.
He's 43.
Yesterday was my father and my older brother's birthday, July 30th. Both born on the same date. Same day, same date, not the same day. Just a quick update. The Devon Archer hearing, he went before a closed doors meeting today for several hours, and we'll play the sound bites of a couple of the Democrats. The only person who's actually I've seen on the air speaking with actual sound bites is a Democrat who's a born liar, and he just says, well, they were talking about the weather and stuff. But anyway, other people have had some reaction, including a former Fox host who got kicked off the air recently, Dan Bongino.
Yeah, he says the Democrats are correct. Outside of the bank records, the suspicious activity reports, the wire transfers, the private bank transactions, the LLCs, the texts, the emails, the WhatsApp messages, the photos of Joe with Hunter's business partners, the voicemails to his son, the 2 business partners saying Joe is the brand, the big guy, and the chairman, the 2 whistleblowers' testimony, the recorded phone calls between Biden and Poroshenko, the video of Joe bragging about firing the Ukrainian prosecutor, and Hunter's statements that he's giving his dad half his income. There is no evidence of Joe Biden being involved.
Nothing really to see here at all, is there? In fact, Fowler, if you played that first soundbite again of the Democratic congressman who says, it's no big deal.
Doesn't it contradict the president's statement saying that he never talked to any of Hunter Biden business associates? Clearly he talked, whether about the weather or whatever, but he said specifically that he's never talked to them. Doesn't this contradict him?
I don't know what his comment is, and if we're going to... Well, I don't think that's what he said. He never said that he has never spoken to anyone.
He did. A million times.
He said that he had nothing to do with Hunter Biden's business dealings. If he says hello to someone that he sees his son with, what, is he supposed to say,
we're here
hi,
at a
son?
business
I'm not
meeting.
going to say hello to the other people at the table or the other people on the phone. It's kind of a preposterous premise to think that a father should not say hello to people that the son is at dinner with, and that is literally all the evidence is.
You and me, my boy. I mean, this is unbelievable, and that's how they're going to get away with it. You can't prove that he did anything other than say, "Oh, we had a nice day, good to see you. I hope you're doing all right," and I don't know what you're talking about. And, but again, Dan Bongino just laid it all out. We need a special prosecutor. There's no way that this can be solved. It's all political, and as long as the Senate is controlled by Democrats, nothing. They can impeach the hell out of him. It's not going to make any difference, and they won't do that either. Anyway, because nobody's got the stones. It's driving me so nuts. But I'm bum. Here's the number again. Area 404-741-1230. 741-1230.
They've made Elon Musk take the big X off his building in San Francisco.
In fact, I wrote to one of my notes today. This morning, I wake up and I check my phone. So the first thing I do is turn it, because our phone's off. I turn on my phone, and all of a sudden my Twitter app is gone. The blue bird's gone, and there's a big X there.
It's all X now. X marks the spot.
Now they've taken the X. The
he
bird's
had a big lit X on top of his building, and so of course San Francisco had to investigate that.
So that's illegal, or what do they say?
They probably came up with some ordinance or something, and they made
bright
it
or
down.
too big, or maybe like Malcolm X and it was offensive or something.
If I'm him, I'd pull the whole company out of there.
In fact, I just saw an article. He said, "Well,
I think that's what he's about to do."
He said he wasn't going to do it. I couldn't believe it. I just read it over the weekend and said, "Well, we're not going to move everything out of San Francisco. It's a rotten place to live and everything else, but we're not going to pack up and butt it."
Who would want to work
I can't
there?
believe it. How could you stay there?
Who would want to work downtown in that building to get there?
Who would want to work in any of those big cities in California? I mean, seriously.
Well, San Diego's still nice.
Well,
I still have the blue bird.
I
Really?
don't. I've got
not me.
I've still got
Mine's
the
gone.
big X, man.
It's just an Xbox.
Well, they got the important people first, Flounder, then they'll work down. I still have now the icon is still the bird.
Yeah,
check your icon.
Well, I'm checking my icon is an X.
No, down here, the button, silly, the button you first push.
Oh, I see. Now wait a minute. You're talking about
my God! See, that's that's an Apple phone you have there.
What icon?
Icon that says Twitter. How do you get to Twitter?
I have
Find
to go
me Twitter.
like this, and
where
I go
is
up
it?
To here.
He's got an X.
That's what I said.
He's got an X.
I don't have a Bluebird. I
They
have an
really
X.
are starting with the important people to working their way down.
That Bluebird's gone.
Did you do some kind of...
I did nothing.
Did you update?
I don't know how to do an update.
Did
he do an update? Yeah, I spent the weekend with a new algorithm.
Phone call. We had a phone call.
Oh, now wait. Well, we should have known that. Let's get this person on the radio. It's Rocco is on the air with us today. Rocco, how's it going, man? What's up?
Hey, Peter, you controlling the button before Kimmer cuts me off real quick? You know he didn't update his phone because anything the word date in it, Kimmer can't do very well.
Man. Oh, that's cold. That's duh.
Hey, listen, I want to get your prediction.
All right.
For 3 days, Shohei Ohtani's going to be in town.
Yes, sir.
I want to get your prediction. How many home runs and how many stolen bases will he get?
He'll get 2 home runs and no stolen bases.
I say 3 and 3.
3 and 3.
3 stolen bases? Wow, that's a lot.
He is an unbelievable. I didn't think I'd see something like that, but he's an unbelievable talent. You won't see that again for a long time.
In fact, we were just saying, here we are sitting at the ballpark.
Yeah.
And it's,
almost had tickets.
I mean, if we wanted to go see the game, we could go see the game.
But I wouldn't get home till midnight, and that's not good.
And on the other hand, when you think, at some point, somebody's going to say, oh, my God, you saw Ohtani in person play and you saw him hit oh, my God, you were there in the person at the ballpark?
Oh, I can say it.
Well, I mean, I saw I was there. Henry Aaron hit the home run, 7-14. I mean, no, I was. And so, but again, people are saying, I saw Joe DiMaggio play. I saw Babe Ruth.
I know.
And one day they're going to say, I saw Ohtani.
Well, you can say, I saw Ronald Acuna Jr., too.
That's
the 2 best players in baseball will be on the same field tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. And again, so we're...
and we just said no to tickets. Well, what are we thinking? I mean, seriously, but it's going to be 84 degrees tonight. And by the time I get home, it'll be midnight.
And then getting out of the traffic. I mean, it'll be too much. I can't take. I can't do it.
There's people out there that kill to have those tickets.
Well, who do you want dead? I can think of like 4 guys right now and 1 chick.
Keep moving. Allegedly.
Let it go. I'm not letting it go.
See, Fox has already moved on. This whole talk for the Republicans, this is it, the smoking gun, we got him. They've already moved on. It's not even
now
top
they're on
story.
Mar-a-Lago again, and the worker for Donald Trump.
It's just,
it's so freaking wrong. It's just so wrong. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to say thank you to our buddy Goat Redneck Poet. Mm-hmm. Say, Kimmer, he dropped us off a book of his poems.
I'll read one.
And it says, Kimmer, I appreciate your service, standing up for your convictions and making me feel like my bad memory is good. Goat Redneck Poet. For example, the stink of Satan's diaper, the venom of a viper, DC stinks and poisons more with their... oops, I can't read that one. Let's see. His idiocy wouldn't quit, so the man is full... Ooh, I can't read that one. Let's see. Claims down is up and up is down. The sad part says you can't stick. Oh, oops, I can't read that one.
Okay.
All right, well, we're going to find some ones. We'll get those a little later for you for some of the older boys and girls. Thank you. Oh, mercy. Let's see. And Elon, let's clean up the joint. Speaking of Elon Musk and Twitter.
Yes, sir.
Elon Musk was chatting with Vivek. Is it Vivek?
Who?
Vivek Ramaswamy, the presidential candidate.
No idea.
I thought it was Vivek, but I've heard him say Vivek. So it's Vivek Ramaswamy. He's the guy. He's the smartest one of them all. The entrepreneur's got $1 billion. And he and Elon Musk, the other billionaire, were chatting about 2024 and the election and so forth, and the state of the seemingly despondent American dream. Quote, Elon Musk, "We should be proud to be American. I certainly am. It feels like there's a weird anti-American self-destructive element, especially in, like you, the elite circles within the U.S., teaching it's bad to be an American." And I'm like, this is insane. Mm-hmm. Ramaswamy said Musk is genuinely worried that his two sons will not even have the opportunity to achieve the American dream. Vivek says, "I'm genuinely worried the dream will not exist for my kids and their generation unless we do something about it. I did not expect to be running for president, but I saw a field certainly on the Republican side forming. There are a lot of people running from something. I didn't see anybody running to something." Anyway, they said, went on to say... let's see. Musk, in their assertion saying he was a British citizen, he saw the United States as the greatest country in the world. Steve Hilton, the guy was on air with him. "This is the greatest place in the world. That's the place you want to go if you want to pursue exactly what they're talking about there, the American dream." And I don't know if there is an American dream.
Well, the immigrants know it.
But even my American dream, the American dream to my generation is that you go to school, you get out, you get married, your wife takes care, you raise a family, the wife is the backbone of the family, the man goes to work, you retire eventually, and you have a nice retirement, and everybody lives happily ever after. I mean, that's the American dream. You have a house and a car and a vacation once in a while, and you pay your bills, and everybody's kind of getting along, and and you go to work, and then you take a vacation, and then you have retirement, and boom. And that first of all, who retires? In fact, I just saw I should have printed. I saw an article in Let It Go about there is no retirement anymore. I think it was one of the guys on Fox last night, the former congressman who does whoever does the show on Sunday nights, and he was saying there's no more retirement. It's all. I mean, do you have a retirement plan? Do you have retirement? Anybody gave you money when you
the lotto?
Yeah, I mean, there's what retirement? I don't know if any.
I haven't even thought about it. I mean, to me,
people
I
have
just
a
like
401k or something, but that's the other thing. I mean, I'll probably never officially retire. I mean, eventually they'll fire me.
I'll still write.
Yeah,
I'll never just shut it down and say that's it.
I don't know. Oh my, are we late? I'm
very
so
late.
Sorry. It's 4:30. Time for the 4:29 break. Sorry. Oh my God. Monday.
Everything's fine.
Monday. I like this song, too. I always like the Mamas and Papas. California Dreamin'. I even like the Mama Cass when it was getting fat, but Mama Cass. I've always liked the Carpenters. The Mamas and the Papas.
Put the sandwich down, Mom.
And it was on. I remember we talked about that last week.
I know.
1980 on this day, John Phillips of the Mamas and Papas was apprehended by FBI narcotics agents for possession of cocaine. John Phillips was later sentenced to 250 hours of community service, giving anti-drug lectures.
Isn't he the POS that got a liver transplant, and then they caught him on TV a few weeks later going in and out of a liquor store with a bunch of liquor?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. And apparently, I guess he forced his 11-year-old daughter, Mackenzie, to go with Mick Jagger.
Stop it. Allegedly. Stop it.
Oh, he nailed her. He did her good.
You don't know that.
He did, too. Everybody in the world knows it. And it was, she was begging, and he was Mick Jagger.
You know that, but you never heard of unsalted butter until 2 hours ago.
Well,
but you know Mick Jagger nailed Mackenzie Phillips.
I know it for a few, and you know it, and everybody knows it. It's horrible to think of it. But he was, and they
could have any woman in the world.
John Phillips knew it, too. Well, she was precocious.
No, she was not good.
Remember her when she rode with the Harrison Taylor there in the Ford car?
What the hell are you talking about?
The guy who was a president, get off my plane guy, Harrison Ford? Harrison Ford, and he was a driver of the hot rod, and she rode with him and wanted to take a stick shift in the American Graffiti. Yeah.
Mackenzie Phillips was in American Graffiti?
She rode in the car.
Huh. I forgot about
that. Was her, and she was all kinky and everything, and she sneaked out of the house to ride with him, and she wanted this gear shift knob, which he gave to her when she left.
Is that a euphemism?
And I think she kissed him. I'm telling you, this little girl was
one day at a time.
There you are. All right, 4:36. How's it going? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. Pete Davis, Flounder, new Nick's back there. What? You all right?
It hurts me to say this, Kimmer.
Say it.
I have a sore throat.
Really? How'd you get? What do you mean?
It hurts me to say.
Oh God. We used to...
I saved that for an hour and a half. Halfway through the show.
Yes. We used to do the Bad Text Theater also. I
love you. You're trusting there. Really? Are you okay?
I was concerned for you, and I thought maybe you had to take the day off. I'd be a little nervous.
Tomorrow.
A little nervous about that. By the way, this is a short week. We should announce. In fact, actually, we're very excited about this, and you should be too. Although I'm a little nervous about it because they're probably going to fire me and hire him.
Yep.
We're going to be off this Friday. We're going to be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll be off Friday. Shannon Burke.
Yay!
Is going to be doing the show. Now, if you're on an app and you live in Ohio and don't know what that is, Shannon Burke was a guy we worked with here in Atlanta until we all got blown out, was it 5 years ago? 4 or 5?
2019?
Yeah, I guess 4 years ago.
Say, yeah.
They sold the thing. We all got blown out. He's down in Florida. He's doing his show from like 3 to 7 or something in the afternoon in Florida and killing it down there. He's a very, he's extremely provocative, funny, outrageous.
If you like Neil Boards... You'll love
Shannon Burke. He's great. He's just great, and he's going. And we really appreciate each other. We've always admired each other. We work together on the shows and stuff. And he's going to be doing our show this coming Friday, and then next week Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Right.
So we're off 4 days. Shannon Burke's going to do all those 4. How he's going to pull that off and do his show in Florida, I don't know.
How's he going to do that, Flounder?
Are they going to simulcast everything? Take breaks at the same time or something?
I'm not sure. Mike and Matt have organized all that and figured out their clock, because his clock's a little different than ours, but they've kind of figured it out.
I figure they can adjust. Obviously, they can adjust.
Absolutely.
Anyway, you'll really like him, and I'm a little nervous. Guys like us, we don't like... and by the way, have you ever taken more than 1 week off in like 40 years of working in broadcasting?
Well, you don't take 2 weeks.
You don't take 2 weeks ever, because they'll get rid of you. Yeah. Somebody will do better. They'll forget. The audience will forget you. Somebody will do a great show, and let's get that guy.
I was lucky when I did my nighttime show back in the 90s. Yeah. Every fill-in person I had sucked.
Yeah, well, thank God. Because I've never taken more than a week off. I worked with a guy once who got 16 weeks.
Jeez.
I swear I'm not making that up.
16.
They take the month of January, month of April. I mean, it was, they have this thing. How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? That was his moniker. Anyway, so we're a short week this week. Let's see. Oh, in case you just joined us also, President White Trash has now acknowledged that he has a granddaughter. And again, in fact, Meghan McCain acknowledged, as I mentioned earlier, it's an old political trick. If you have an embarrassing thing to get out to the public, it's called take it out with the trash, which means Friday night, that's when they release it. Because nobody watches the news on Saturday morning. The Saturday morning papers don't cover it. By Saturday night, it's gone. Sunday morning, nobody's gone. And then Monday, it's not even a story. Well, it's a story here where President White Trash has now had to acknowledge, boy, the feedback must have been outrageous. To even Democrats were saying, you've got to be kidding me.
The women polling was killing it.
Finally. Even Democrats were saying, you can't keep this up. Meghan McCain
called it slimy. Said it's slimy. She's not going to let it go either. She says, you dumped it on Friday. We know what you did. Yeah. And, they did it so he can say in the future, I said I have a granddaughter.
Can't wait to see her, working things out, keep her privacy. So he's trying to keep her privacy. That's what it's all about. In fact, he's really doing her a favor. He's keeping her out of the limelight.
Well, you know what? That he may actually be truthful about, because they're going to destroy her.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, Swatoon's on the line.
Swatoon. Well, by golly, let's see what Swatoon's up to today. Swatoon, welcome aboard. How's it going? Happy Monday.
Hey, well, happy Monday to you guys.
Yes, sir.
If you want to see pride in America, go to the immigration office and watch people become citizens.
Yeah.
You got to see the happiest people alive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
No, the people who do it the right way are the people to admire the most, because they care enough to actually make the commitment, and they're here for the right reasons, not trying to just sneak in, to see if they can get some free money and stuff.
Oh, when I became a citizen, we had a big party. It was like we put our citizenship thingy in a picture frame, and people told us don't do that, put it in the safe. But yeah,
from Atlanta Safe House, by golly, Atlanta Safe House got your safer documents. In fact, your immigration papers and your citizenship papers, Social Security card. And you must have gotten a Social Security card, right?
Always.
Yeah. Now,
it's
in fact,
my safe right now.
In fact, from AtlantaSafeHouse.com, by golly. Now, let me ask you this. I really like to know this. How old were you when you came here, and how were you thinking about the entire object of getting to America? Was it something your family talked about? Was it a dream? Was it a sudden thing? Was it you always? What was it like thinking about coming to America?
I would dream never to come to America. I mean, we just wanted to stay where we are, and but the war started, and pretty much we were kicked out of the country. I mean, we had choice between getting shot or leave. So
And this was what Bosnia Herzegovina, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
And of course, first of all, when I came to America, it was the big, change for me, especially for food-wise, because I was like 100 pounds.
Wow.
Being like eating stuff that you don't want your dogs to eat, pretty much.
What was it like when you went into your first supermarket and saw all that food?
It's like amount of food. Let's just say I gain in 6 months. I gained about 150 pounds.
Well, there you go.
I discovered McDonald's, and of course I discovered the Mexican food, and that was something that was the best thing in my life. I could wear that taco sauce seasoning or like a perfume. It was so good. But other than that, I don't want to leave this country. I have kids now here who are first-generation Americans from my family.
Yeah.
And I'm going to teach them to, protect this country, and I'm going to protect them because after this country, there's no other country to go to.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say that, but if you Americans give up on America, there's nobody to go to. It's the safest place to go after that. It's Mars.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Holy smoke! But I'll bet you must. I assume you must obviously miss your home country though at some point that's where you are from. I assume you.
Well, I was 17 when I came here. Like my parents, they miss it a lot. My father goes there all the time, every year, pretty much.
Yeah.
But for us kids, I mean, we became Americanized. I mean, when I came to America, I walked 2 miles to go, to go to work, even though I had a car. And I wanted to save money to get, because we didn't have much money when we came here. And today I hate to go to my mailbox without my car.
Yeah. But see, isn't that's a listen to what you just said. You were willing to do whatever it took to save enough money to get your life going in America that you would walk to work 2 miles rather than drive and spend money on gasoline, because that's how important it was to you to try to take care of your future here in America.
Yes, I'll tell you one stuff what my father told me. Never depend on anybody, especially never depend on government. In 1 year, we were here in America when we came. Yeah. We were off the food stamps, off the welfare, and we moved from the ghetto area, pretty much really high crime area, to the better neighborhood. And then we to get the first car, then we moved to the neighbor after that, and today I have 2 houses, and one of them my parents live in, but I mean, I'm not filthy rich or rich in general, but I have everything, especially now I have family, and I'll die for them. I mean, like they're calling parents terrorists, but I'll die for my kids. I mean, I'm not afraid to go to jail for my kids.
Yeah, you're an American story. I mean, this is the greatest story there is. When they talk about immigration and the open borders and people sneaking in and claiming, all kinds of. I mean,
that's pissing me off because I had to work 2 jobs to get my paper. I mean, to get money to pay for that to become a citizen.
Right. Absolutely.
Because and now it's just like, oh, here you go. Here's green cards, left and right, Uno cards. Just grab it.
Yeah, it's not right. You did the right thing. God bless you, my friend. Semper Fi. Really appreciate it. Great to talk to you as always. 4:45 already here. We got Skynet and tweets and Holy Crap at Sports and comedy bits and everything. We'll get to it all, I promise you. Probably. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, right, sure. Hold on a second. No, it's good. We're all right here. I swear to God. This was a TV show theme, right? Wasn't it?
CSI or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, Miami. No.
It was CSI Criminal Intent or something.
The Miami did another Who song. Yeah, there was another Who song.
Won't Get Fooled Again.
Yeah, Won't Get Fooled Again.
Yeah. Anyway, by the way, I've got your sports. Anyway, how you doing? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. 4:50, 10 before 5. Holy crap at sports with Pete Davis coming up. Flounders here. New Nick, our intern, is with us. And this is the Who. It was on this day in 1971. The Who was doing a concert at New York's Forest Hills Stadium, 1971, and a security guard got stabbed to death. What the heck TV show was this stupid theme? Was it
CSI crime scene investigation? That's what I Googled, and that's what came up.
Okay. Well, CSI crime scene investigation. That's what CSI means. So it's got to be
Dragnet.
That's dragging a net by the drag of your net. Anyway,
I read something yesterday that Keith Moon, the crazy, was such a Beach Boys fan.
Yeah,
he loved the harmony that to keep him focused, because he'd rather sing harmony than play drums. To me, he's the greatest drummer ever. But they keep him basically in the studio, paying attention and not drunk and taking drugs. They would put in harmonies for him and the rest of them to sing, so Keith would stay focused.
I mean, during their rehearsals,
when they're producing the songs, they'd make sure they had harmonies in there. Townsend would write them in there, so he would stay focused.
So he could sing. I mean, he sang harmonies on their records just because he liked the Beach Boys harmonies. Yeah. That's why I like my music stick. I sing to the. I pick the songs based on how I like to sing to them in the harmony and the chords. Anyway, here's our number in case you'd like to buzz with us: 404-741-1230. 741-1230. Holy Crap of Sports is coming up, and you're going to do a Holy Crap of Sports podcast later today, maybe? Possibly? Or tomorrow, maybe?
Around midnight, I guess.
Okay. Well, now, we have a show. You can't be staying up all night.
Lately, I've been doing them about 8 or 9 in the morning before the show.
So. Okay. Anyway, I can't imagine actually sleeping.
Someone said the other day when I posted it at 1 a.m., they go, when do you sleep?
He doesn't. Trust me. I want to update on a story, a former sports story, which kind of got lost in the morass. But here's an update on it. In case you have had some bad thoughts about someone that you used to admire, you can still admire him. Here's the story. An Arizona man who admitted to trying to extort former Georgia Tech coach Josh Pastner by falsely accusing Pastner of sexual assault has been sentenced to 3 years in prison. Ronald Bell, 57 years old, got 2 years plus, almost 3 years in prison and then 3 years of supervised release. He pleaded guilty to conspiring with his co-defendant, a woman named Jennifer Pendley, and a security guard at Georgia Tech to extort money from Coach Josh Pastner. Coach Josh Pastner didn't do squat. But this guy, Ronald Bell, demanded money from Georgia Tech in exchange for not reporting the fictitious sexual assault. When Georgia Tech refused to pay the scumbag, Pendley, the girl, filed a lawsuit claiming she was sexually battered and assaulted with intentional infliction of emotional distress. Georgia Tech, thank God, conducted their own independent investigation and found last year it's all bullcrap.
Yeah, they were talking of firing him.
His reputation was ruined.
Yeah.
And again, I'm here to say this because his reputation is still spotless. Coach Josh Pastner, is he still there? I don't even know if he's still there.
Did they fire him?
I think they might have.
They finally got around to firing him. I think they did.
It might have been for another.
Yeah, they did fire
for a record or whatever. But again, but this was all nonsense, right? I mean, this was all made up.
Supposedly, yeah.
Anyway, so just for the record, they're going to prison.
Good.
And speaking of prison, the Al Jazeera Constipation's got another big front page sports story. Another bulldog arrested, cited for speeding.
No.
Defensive lineman Tyrion Ingram Dawkins got caught in Franklin County going 90 miles an hour on the I-85. He was also arrested on a warrant for failing to appear in a case in Athens. And he was also wanted on a warrant for a violation of a handicap parking violation. So you're wanted on a couple of charges. So you're doing 90 miles an hour on I-85 at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Georgia football players have been ticketed or arrested at 13 times for excessive speeding or reckless driving. Alcohol involved since the alcohol and crash had killed people in January. 13 excessive speeding and reckless driving cases since the killings of the people. Holy crap.
There's no problem. Why are you trying to inflate this?
Georgia players have been cited at least 60 times, going more than 20 miles over the limit. 14 tickets in Oconee County alone.
I can't believe you and the AJC have a hard-on for attacking the University of Georgia and their fine reputation of driving.
And now, didn't somebody say, gee, one thing we could do about it?
Take away the cars.
Not allow the student athletes to drive on campus?
Have Uber, Lyfts, or limos wherever they go. And, yeah, that's going to work. And Alabama says, you know what? They won't let you drive your brand-new car you got in your NIL deal, but you can drive anywhere you want here in Tuscaloosa.
We got big parking lots over here. We got valet parkers. We'll do whatever you're looking for.
A lot of highways over in Alabama you can drive in.
Now, I remember as being a baby boomer when I first went to college, you were not allowed to have a car for 2 years. On the college campus, you were not allowed to have a car. If you got caught driving a car that wasn't given a decal, they towed it, and you were, kicked out. You could kick you out of school for having a car on before you.
You
were
had
junior.
to have a car at Georgia State when I first started.
Well, it's a commuter college. I mean, you gotta get there.
What was I going to do? Ride MARTA?
MARTA? I wasn't drunk driving. I was drunk sleeping.
I did ride MARTA for a while, though.
Well, there you go. I haven't been on a MARTA. Oh my God, I've never been on a MARTA bus. I've been on MARTA trains while I'm going to the airport. I don't think I've ever been on a MARTA bus.
You pretty much had to when you'd go to Fulton County when you'd park because you'd use the MARTA buses to get to the stadium.
Well, no, maybe I'll bet I did that.
The coldest place on the planet.
I did that in the 70s, I'll bet. Yeah.
The coldest place on the planet is the Georgia State MARTA station, which is like 2 or 3 levels above the ground. It's east and west, so the wind comes howling through. It's this huge open end on both sides. And in December, you'd be standing out there, just that wind be howling through there when the train came through. Holy cow.
Oh, mercy. Mercy.
You talking about America earlier? Swatoon was talking about going in the grocery store. I posted yesterday. Some people saw it. There's 2 British kids. They're about 20, 21 or something. They're going around the country trying stuff, and they went to a Buc-ee's.
Now, if you don't know what Buc-ee's is, and there isn't one around, the nearest one you were telling me is near Rome. I've never been in a Buc-ee's. I've never actually seen a Buc-ee's.
You've got to go.
And tell them what it's famous for. Those who don't know, it's famous for being huge and having everything.
Not only you don't have to wait for gas because they got everything. I mean, so many places to stop. The bathrooms are like a Roman spa. It's the biggest bathroom I've ever seen. They got showers, I think, for people and truckers and stuff like that. But you go in, there's like 100 different versions of beef jerky. And these poor British kids are in there going, there's more selection in here than any grocery store in England.
And they have special sausage things on sticks.
A sausage on a stick. It's like 2 feet long. Yeah. And they started biting. They go, this can't be any good. And they bought it. And everything they ate was like the best thing.
They've ever
ambrosia. Had. We don't have this in England. And they're sitting there eating they had like pecan pralines that were cinnamon and butter that looked delicious and everything.
And now Buc-ee's it's also a retail store, isn't it? Also clothes and shirts and
anything.
Shoes and I mean it's a one stop. It's like Walmart plus. Trader Joe's and like 4 different.
It's like a Russian nesting doll. They took your average gas station and they put that inside a Dollar General and put that inside a Quick Trip and put that inside a Walmart. And that's what it is. It's just and I'll tell you, the barbecue sandwiches are fantastic.
I'm going to take a road trip to Rome, Georgia, and go see a Buc-ee's.
The one in Leeds, near Birmingham, Leeds. That's a great one.
Well, I'm gonna do that one of these days. Yeah, right.
And you got to get Buc-ee balls, too.
Just a damn...
Nobody knows what they're made of.
Really. That's what I'm afraid of, sir. It's coming up on 5 o'clock. My God, man. Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder. Right a blank. Ready on your dog. Target. Fire. Road guards out. Look out. Yeah, they're coming after hunters and archers in schools now. God forbid you should learn how to be a sportsman. In fact, I have a question for Pete about sportsmanship when you're at war with another country. That'll come up after a little sports section here, check. We got a billion things. How you doing? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports raconteur extraordinaire. Holy Grabbit Sports coming up with Flounder, the mechanical mangler at the controls, and new Nick interns back there with us, too. Again, Joe, recap kind of the top of the news as we go into our 5 o'clock hour. Paul Reubens, Wee Herman, has passed away. He had what they describe as a secret battle with cancer for many years. Doesn't say what kind. At least I haven't seen what kind yet in case it is released. But he was 70 years old. And I did the Pee-wee's Playhouse and Big Top Pee-wee in 1988 movie. He was arrested on well, we kind of hate to say that now, but and he had the 2016 Netflix movie Pee-wee's Big Holiday.
You know the funny thing about not even a couple weeks after that had happened, the MTV Music Awards was coming up. And he came out as the intro, and the place went wild, and he said one of the best one-liners ever.
I don't remember it.
Heard any good jokes lately?
Yeah, that was well. He retired after his 1991 arrest for indecent exposure, and then in 2002. They raided his house and found some child porn reduced to an obscenity, and it turned out okay. But anyway, the man died at 70 years old, which is a shame. Young. Are we going to do a little Pee-wee thing later on? Well, after maybe the next half hour or something? I think we may have one.
Absolutely.
Okay. And Holy Grappa Sports again. And we haven't done tweets or Pete's tweets or Sky. Haven't done that crap. Well, again, let's quickly reset the top of the hour, the big story. Well, in fact, get the Jim Jordan thing. No, I swear we'll do it. We'll do it. In case you just joined us, the Devin Archer guy, Hunter Biden's former business partner, went into the meeting. It was a closed-door testimony meeting to the House Oversight Committee on President Crime Family, White Trash's, Hunter's dealings and with Daddy, with foreign communist sources and so forth. We all know it's true. And he was there for several hours, and he apparently had information about dozens of meetings, including audio with President and his son talking with various people, business leaders, and of course, there were business meetings, and yet, first of all, let's hear the Democrat. Maybe the other cut we didn't play. I play both of them for that matter. And then you're going to hear a little bit from what I think Jim Jordan may have an update, perhaps. So we'll see what the latest is now. First, here's a Democratic Congressman, Daniel Goldman, a confirmed liar, who's pretending that President Biden never said he had anything to do with his son, even talking about it.
So to confirm, you're saying that the speakerphone conversations, they don't seem concerning to you because there was no specifics about business, and it just seemed like
it was clear that it was part of the daily conversations that Hunter Biden had with his father. And it was
business meeting,
and sounded like most of the time now President Biden didn't even know who the people he was at dinner. He was just asked to say hello
at dinner.
And
is that what they're talking about?
Talk about the way he described it several times. They asked over and over and over. He described what the weather was, how what's going on your end. The witness was very, very consistent that none of those conversations ever had to do with any business dealings or transactions. They were purely what he called casual conversations.
Okay, the fact that he was in a meeting, and this is the same guy who said, my daddy's right here, and if you don't give us our $5 million, you're going to be in big trouble. I mean, come on. It's worse than the Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage saying those 30,000 emails were all yoga positions and recipes with Grammy. Oh, my God. Anyway, and I said, first of all, when Jim Jordan came out of that hearing, all he said was something like it was productive, which it scares the crap out of me. Now, did you hear something else now?
The reporter said, was there anything new? And he said, yep.
Now, why isn't he doing what the Democrats are doing? This is what they do. Hey, Georgia, listen up, please. Okay, the goal of Democrats is to win. They will do or say anything to win. You just heard the Democratic congressman lie through his teeth about the meetings with the president and former vice president and Hunter Biden and communist Chinese, Romanian people for foreign money, 150 bank accounts that are suspected money laundering, and all these meetings. And by the way, when this Democrat liar congressman was saying, well, at the dinner meeting, well, this guy wasn't talking about 25 dinner meetings. He was talking about business meetings. Anyway, I mean, again, that's what they do. The Democrats will lie, cheat, obfuscate, deny, just completely send you down the wrong path. Anything they can do to win. Republicans, in the meantime, say, I'm not voting for that George Herschel Walker. And let the country go to hell. You just heard him again. This is a guy, that's the perfect example of it. This is unbelievable. Please, you're killing me here. Anyway, we'll see. I don't know why aren't the Republicans saying the same thing, coming out like the Democrats and sitting there for 10 minutes talking to reporters?
They don't know how to play the game to win.
I mean,
this is a dirty, like Clay and Buck said, this is a dirty game now, and if they don't get down in the trenches with them, we're going to lose.
They don't have the balls to do it. Georgia Republicans or any Republican, although, well, at least these Republicans are holding the hearings. And again, if they hadn't won Congress by 4 votes, they wouldn't even be going on with these.
Yep.
But that's how important the election is. Can we say, again, it's like 4 votes or none of this would be going public. None of it. They would have gotten away with everything except for like 4 votes in Republican congressional districts. 4. I mean, please, you're killing me. Hold your freaking nose and say we need the Republicans to be back in power. Herschel Walker was not going to go to Washington and start raping people. You know, he wasn't going to take a gun and fire a couple of rounds through the Capitol chambers just to get everybody's attention.
The best way of looking at it is somebody says the Republicans don't have the answers to fix the problems, but they're not the ones causing the problems right now.
Let's see what you can do when you get there. How about that? My God.
Get the people out who are creating the problems.
Oh, Lord. Again, here's another good example. It's just their new study. As you know, I mentioned next week, we are off this Friday and a couple days next week. One of those days, or maybe 1 or 2 days next week, I'm going to the VA. I'm getting some VA medical examination crap for some stuff that it should have been 20 years ago, whatever. Anyway, but guess what? This is very exciting. The medical center ratings are in now. VA hospitals all over the country were included in a survey of quality ratings. They were based on mortality, safety of care, readmission, patient experience, and timely and effective care.
Yeah.
Let's see. 67% of the VA hospitals included in the survey, that's more than 2/3, got 4 or 5 stars. Atlanta got 2. Yeah. The Atlanta VA Hospital System Medical Center got 2 stars as opposed to most of them getting 4 or 5. And again, I mean, honestly, the last time I went down there was years ago, and I said, I'm not going back here.
Claremont?
Yeah.
Decatur?
It was intolerable.
Horror stories.
And again, the VA screwed me out when I got my medical records. You know, I proved that I had the cancer and the Agent Orange and all the stuff and the thing and disability, all the crap and the stuff. And they, we need the records from the so-and-so and the so-and-so on certain dates and times. And I said, well, I can't get the certain dates and times without knowing which one you're talking about. I mean, it's just a nightmare, absolute nightmare. I'm going next week for some medical stuff. It'll be about, let's see, February, March, April, May, June. 7 or 8 months. Finally, to get the appointment.
What is this? Is it the British healthcare system?
Yeah, 7 or 8 months. Yeah, and they know I was there. They know I was in Vietnam. They know I had exposed to Agent Orange. They know when I was there and where I was, and they know I had it. I had my, look at me. It's not hard to figure it out.
Your problem was you weren't born Ukrainian or Mexican.
Yeah.
And you're not illegal.
It's unbelievable.
Did you see in Illinois that the governor just signed a bill into law that allows illegal aliens to be police, which means in Illinois you can be an American citizen and you can be detained and arrested by an illegal alien?
Now, I assume if they're a police officer, they would be allowed to vote.
Yeah, of course.
So illegals will also be allowed to vote as well as arrest an actual legal citizen.
Give it your best shot.
Yeah, let's.
Gringo.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, search me. Go
Amigo.
Ahead. Pat me down, why don't you?
Give it a shot.
5:13. Holy crap! It's sports is next. There. Look out. Here we go. Whoopsie. 5:20. Look out. Mark Cuban is 65 today. Dallas Mavericks owner. He was one of the few people who became a billionaire on the first .com boom. He sold broadcast.com for $6 billion in Yahoo stock and then cashed out. And now, holy crap, it's sports and Pete Davis.
Braves start a 3-game series tonight in Truist Park against Shohei Ohtani and the Angels. It's Charlie Morton versus Griffin Canning. That's what you got. That's
Charlie
the
Morton.
matchup.
I'm looking forward to that.
Good for that. Shohei will not pitch during this series, is what I'm hearing, because he doesn't pitch on 5 days rest. He usually goes 6 or 7, so that's past the point of no return.
As I had mentioned, you all mocked me, as I recall, last week when I said, well, he's not going to be able to pitch in the land. You go, oh, yeah, it is 5 days, man. Remember that?
I don't quite remember it that way.
Oh, my God.
You're misremembering.
I don't think so, mister.
All right, okay. Well, for once, I'll tell you, yeah, you were right. How's that?
Thank you.
He is going to bat, though.
He will.
So he and Ronald Acuna Jr., the two best players on the planet, will be on the field at the same time.
And unfortunately,
what?
Mike
Trout will not be because he's injured.
Wouldn't that be the three of them together?
Wouldn't that be amazing to see all three of those? I would have taken the ticket.
And we mentioned earlier, again, think about this. Someday if you're going to the ball game, if you're on the way or you're in the park right now or you're going to the ball, you're going to be able to say, I saw him in person. I saw them in person.
Mm-hmm.
And much like people would say, DiMaggio or Mickey Mantle.
Or be like
Willie
those
Mays,
people who say they saw Hank Aaron hit a home run.
I got the tickets
just lie
for
about
the slimy little reporter guy who now denies even knowing me, and I got him the ticket to go with my starter wife, my favorite ex-wife, who actually was the one who did love me. Oh, sorry.
So, speaking of Ronald, he stole his 50th base over the weekend.
I saw that.
And then he stole it. He took it home with him.
Did he? Oh, did he?
Yeah, he took it home.
Good for him.
And now he might be playing a lot against his younger brother, shortstop Luis Angel Acuna, traded from Texas to the Mets for Max Scherzer. He's a minor leaguer. Well, if you can't beat him, trade for their brother, I guess.
Yeah,
you know what they did? They probably intentionally said, we want that guy because we want another Acuna, and we want him in New York to play against Ronald.
That's right.
And then at some point say to Ronald, hey, why don't you come up here and play with your brother?
No, I don't.
That'd be a huge star.
I can't imagine he'd want to go to New York.
Who would want to? I
mean, he's got everything. I would think he's getting his respect and everything else here in Atlanta.
Well, speaking of which, after the trade of Scherzer, Justin Verlander says he's reassessing playing for the Mets.
I blame him. In fact, I saw Alonso said, "What the hell's our future here all of a sudden?"
Yeah. I was watching the win over the Brewers yesterday. I saw Charlie Culberson on the bench, and I thought, how nice he's on the team. He's had one at bat in a month or so, but it's great to see Charlie there.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Oh, no.
The Bravos traded lefty Taylor Hearn. Yeah, the same guy who made his Braves debut over the weekend, pitched one inning. Didn't do well. I love his arm. He's got a real good left-handed arm, but he's wild.
Yeah.
And he's been up too long to be as wild as he is. So they traded him to the Royals for infielder Nicky Lopez. I'm not going to lie, I've never heard of the guy.
Never heard.
And I listen to Royals games sometimes. Never heard of the guy. He's basically a utility guy, so they can spell Ozzy and Orlando every once in a while. Well, so we'll see that. A.J. Minter has been reinstated from the injured list, so he is back as well. So they didn't really need a left-hander since he's back.
Yeah.
Here's Matt Olson's game-winning homer yesterday on Sunday against the Brewers.
Olson has driven in 86 runs this year. Righty deals. 1-1 on the way, and a bullet to deep right field. Back there towards the bullpen. You didn't think he would. He just did. A 2-run homer. And he puts the Braves on top again. It's 8-6 in the 8th.
Ben Ingram, sister station, 680 The Fan.
Great caller.
Okay. On this date in Braves history, 1954, using a borrowed bat, Joe Adcock hit 4 homers and a double, set the Major League record with 18 total bases and a 15-7 Braves win over the Dodgers at Ebbets Field.
Holy cow.
Yeah. And in 2000, the Braves got outfielder B.J. Surlyhoff.
No, it was Surhoff, I believe it's
some people called him Surlyhoff because he was kind of a pain.
Kind of a pain.
They got him from the Orioles for, God, don't even remember these guys. Yeah. NFL news, Jets interim quarterback Aaron Rodgers came to the defense of his quarterback coach, Nathaniel Hackett. Hackett was fired after just basically less than a year as the Broncos head coach. New Denver head coach Sean Payton broke protocol last week when he crapped all over Hackett.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Saying it was the worst coaching job in NFL history.
Never heard of such a thing.
Rodgers is having none of that nonsense.
Yeah, I love Nathaniel Hackett, and those comments were very surprising. for a coach to do that to another coach. My love for Hack goes deep. You know, we had some great years together in Green Bay. Kept in touch. Love him and his family. He's an incredible family man, incredible dad. And on the field, you know, he's arguably my favorite coach I've ever had in the NFL. Just his approach to it, how he makes it fun, how he cares about the guys, how he goes about his business with respect, with leadership, with honesty, with integrity. It made me feel bad that someone who's accomplished a lot in the league is that insecure that they have to take another man down to set themselves up for some sort of easy fall if it doesn't go well for that team this year. Thought it was way out of line and inappropriate, and I think he needs to keep my coach's names out of his mouth.
Yeah.
I love that. Please.
Outstanding.
I love Sean Payton he's won a Super Bowl, but he is a piece of crap.
But what was he thinking? I mean,
He's
how
Sean
could he
Payton.
say that out? But no one's ever. I mean, have you ever heard one coach talk about another coach that way?
Never like that. I'm telling you, Sean Payton, he's been handed the world in Denver.
How could he have been such an idiot?
He's been told for how long now that the sun shines out of his arse, and now he believes he's retracted some of his comments. I shouldn't have said that. I should have.
He said he needed more of a monitor on his mouth or whatever.
Yeah.
That's not it.
Kick in the butt is what he needs.
Oh my God.
Arch Manning is yet to take a snap as quarterback of the Longhorns.
Well, he'd be number one then. Sorry.
But he already has a card.
Uh-oh.
All right. It just sold for $103,000 American dollars.
His
football
rookie
card.
Football card?
Well, it's not even a rookie. He's in Texas.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, he's a professional. I'm sorry. What am I talking about?
I know it's
Plays
like
for
the
Texas.
first one off the pack, you mean, or what?
Yeah, it was Pinnacle or somebody came out with a card, and he's giving it all to charity. So good for them.
He doesn't really need the money right now.
Not yet.
Archie Manning family.
Former UGA running back Sony Michel is retiring. He was with the Rams.
He was a Georgia guy for quite a while.
Yes, he was. As when I said former UGA running back.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part.
That's right. Just sports started about 5 minutes.
No, I just got here. I don't.
Football fans took aim at the University of Michigan after recruit Elijah Dotson.
Yeah.
We got Dotson here.
Hey, Dotson.
Posted a picture of his pathetic lunch on social media. The three-star prospect showed off his plate, which included chicken tenders, mac and cheese, a hot dog, and a cookie. A cookie.
Uh-oh.
The picture went viral and drew scorn.
This is at University of Michigan?
This is what
is
not a sirloin steak.
Wait a minute. Is this the athlete's dining table?
No, the recruit. They're trying to get him to come there, and that's what they fed him.
Oh, my God.
Send the chef to the transfer portal, said one Twitter. Dear FBI, do your job. Arrest whomever was responsible for this. Says it was pretty pathetic. This would be considered cruel and unusual punishment in any prison in America.
Oh, my God.
It's pretty bad when the most colorful item on your plate is beige.
Holy.
It looked like something.
A hot dog and a cookie and,
it was prison food.
Oh, man.
And finally, for the two of you who care, the Women's World Cup soccer.
Oh, boy.
The Zambian Zombies beat the casual cow catchers of Costa Rica 3-1. The Japanese radiation absorbers shut out the Spanish, at least we're not Portuguese, 4-0. The Australian women's prison matrons knocked the cussing Canucks of Canada right out of the tournament 4-0.
Oh, boy.
And a thrilling 0-0 tie between the Irish ditch sleepers and the Ebola enablers of Nigeria. So there's sports.
Thank you. 528. Incidentally, there's going to be I got to put my things on here because I got to look how I got
peepers.
Okay, I got my peepers. There is going to be there will be a pair of super moons in August.
Okay. And you're the same guy who told me there was meteors this
if you can see them in the dark, if they weren't all lighted up, you should have been able to see them.
And I stood out in the field like bear bait.
That's right.
And nothing.
Didn't see them. Well,
all right, but go ahead with the moons.
By the way, tomorrow is August 1st.
I know. I got to get cracking on my book.
In the year 2023. Do you remember as a kid thinking about, but by 2020 we'll all get our flying cars and,
Oh, I thought by 2000 I'd be married and have a few kids.
Mercy. Anyway, the Cosmos doing a double dip in August, a pair of super moons with a rare blue moon. Tomorrow night, full moon rising in the southeast, bigger than normal, brighter than normal because it'll be closer than normal. Tomorrow night, and then another one later, a rare blue moon, which is even more spectacular later on. Two of them in August.
We missed it, man. She'd been playing Blue Moon there.
I know. No, it's my bad. Coming up, it's 5:30, and we'll have more stuff, actual things, and comedy. Actual happy comedy.
Dang 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 ding dong ding boom moon blue moon dip 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 moon 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 blue moon dip 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 moon 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 blue moon dip 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 bomb 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 bomb
no idea who this is.
dang dang ding dong ding boom.
This is not the Marcells, but this is a blue moon that Flounder found after talking about the blue moon
Marcells
coming up. This is the Marcells?
Yeah.
This is a newer version, and this is way too fast.
No, this is the actual song.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I guarantee you. I will guarantee you this is not the original Marcel's Blue Moon song. It's way too fast. This is not the original.
Are you thinking the moon just turned blue by the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band?
I'm not telling you. I'm telling you right now, this is not the original Marcel's Moon. What, Spanish Moon?
You've never heard Spanish Moon before?
No.
By Itty Ditty Gripper, same band that Pete just mentioned.
Well, there you are. Okay, fine. Let's see, a couple of quick birthdays. Gary Lewis, son of Jerry Lewis and leader of Gary Lewis and the Playboys. Gary Lewis, 78 today. Big song with This Diamond Ring, as you'll recall. Anyway, well, wait a minute, Blue Moon.
Don't recall.
Okay. Let's see. A Flounder? Would you play that sound I asked you to get there sometime earlier today that you may have, may take a second to go find it, but if you could at your leisure? It's 5:35. Special sound. A sound...
Yeah.
I'm doing.
No one will be allowed to leave.
Pantomime
during the exciting pantomime segment of the radio.
Here
show.
it comes now.
Sorry, hold on.
Here it comes. Almost
now.
Not quite.
You
now.
heard any good jokes lately?
Now. It'll be later on.
I should have saved that sore throat joke for that.
Well, in fact, I can tell you that now longtime congressional aide Mark Mathis has been tasked with slowly pushing a cart through the halls of Congress to collect dead bodies. Bring out your dead. And Diane Feinstein says, I'm getting better.
I'm not dead yet.
No, you're dead now.
You're not fooling anyone.
And now, as suggested.
Be stone cold the second.
95 years ago, 1928, the MGM Lion roared for the first time. It was at the beginning of the studio's first talking movie, White Shadows in the South Seas. There was only one word of dialogue in the entire movie. It was the first talkie. The one word was, hello. And that was it. And they had the roar of the lion and hello, and that was the first talkie, 1928. Holy smokes.
You ever seen the photo where they're recording the lion? There's a bunch of guys standing around, the lion's sitting there like waiting for his cue.
He'll get there eventually. By the way, what a story. A horrible story at Lake Lanier. 24-year-old man, Thomas Milner, jumped into the water from his family's dock and was heard screaming, and not far from Little Ridge Park, a family friend tried to pull him out of the water using a ladder, but he was unsuccessful. A neighbor then approached in a boat, and one person jumped into the water to help Milner, and that person described a burning sensation that he recognized as electric shock.
Jeez.
And apparently, Mr. Milner jumped in and was electrocuted. The other man trying to save him swam ashore, turned off a power box, and went back into the water to pull him out onto the dock. Oh, my God.
How far does electricity go out in the water?
It says it's not clear what caused the water to become electrified. An electrical current can be leaked into the water from any fixture requiring electricity, whether it's a light on a dock or an electric boat ramp.
But you think a lake, that it would spread the electricity out instantly and diffuse it.
If your dock is electrified and with lights on the dock and lights on or whatever, and it's right, and the dock is in the water. I mean, goes into the pylons, go into the water. Then, but still, how is it possible that you can be electrocuted jumping in a lake?
Well, this is the scene right out of Ozark where they killed a couple. They came up in the boat, right. And he reached and he held on to something, and it killed both of them.
And by the way, this other guy, the hero, tried to save him and knew there was something wrong when he felt the electricity.
Jeez.
What a horrible story.
Some say Lanier is haunted, so. And three people died this week, right?
And that's right. Two others drowned. Guy was just swimming and went under, and that was it.
That's weird that you just suddenly just go under.
I always, I shouldn't be saying this because people have suffered this, and I don't mean to bring up bad memories, but I honestly, I always think, I used to think when it was swimming and people drowned because it was a stomach cramp, which is why they always said, our mothers always told us, if you have lunch, you can't go swimming for 2 hours.
Right.
I mean, it was all your life. But I've always thought in a lake or something like that, I've always figured it was like a poison water moccasin or something bit the guy, and he, reacted to it and went under.
That's awful quick.
You get a bite from it all of a sudden on your, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Garfish got it.
Or the other thing is, isn't Lake Lanier used to be a city? It used to be a town.
I think it was a
village.
town under there. Yeah,
there's a village there. There's houses and trees, and I mean they flooded it.
It's a ghost town under there.
It's a town in there.
And in fact, didn't they flood a cemetery too?
I think I'm not sure, but it's all made. It's man-made.
Yeah, it's man-made.
So things can come up and things can get dislodged. And I wonder whether loose boarding comes up and traps a guy in a web of some kind of thing. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. How can you explain a guy just swimming along and then just is not?
How about that? It was a couple weeks ago that somebody lost their son, and she wanted it drained. She wanted the whole lake drained.
Wow. Well, no, we can't really.
Well, we're going to just have a big hole there with no water to drink in Atlanta?
Can't really do that, no. By the way, this is a really horrible story about a lawsuit involving Delta Airlines and an overseas trip from New York City to Greece. There was a belligerent, because there's a lawsuit. A woman and her daughter were on the plane, and a drunk harassed them the entire time, but it got worse than you might think. It was a 9-hour flight. Apparently, a belligerent drunk was served at least 10 vodka drinks and a glass of wine and started groping a 16-year-old girl and her mother. According to the lawsuit, the staff let the drunken guy get off the plane at their destination in Athens, Greece, and never called anybody, cops, local authorities, U.S. enforcement, or anybody. They say Delta flight attendants continued serving the drunk man drinks even after he was obviously drunk. They said he got drunker and drunker. He was seated next to the plaintiffs on the flight. As he got more drunk, he tried to speak to the 16-year-old girl who tried to ignore him. He got angry. The drunk got aggressive toward the girl, started yelling at her. This is on a Delta plane. He made obscene gestures, demanded to know the girl's address and other personal information about her. He grabbed her, put his hands on her back, and frightened her. The girl's mother said told the daughter, said, "Demand, hey, by the way, she's 16, she's a minor in high school." So he started reaching over. The girl began pulling on the mother's arm.
Dead man.
Passengers started noticing the guy was screaming loudly at him. The woman told flight attendants the guy was drunk and making them feel unsafe, and please get him. And the flight attendant said, "Just be patient," and walked away. The drunk, who was unidentified, mumbled, "I'm from Connecticut," started touching the minor girl again, mumbling drunkenly, forcibly kicking the seats in front of them, causing the rows to shake. He put his head down for 30 seconds and then said, ran to the restroom and started puking. The girl and the mother said, "We want to get this guy moved to another seat and cut off from drinks." And the flight attendants did nothing, brushed off their complaints. When the drunk guy came back from the bathroom, he had another glass of wine. After pleas from the women, the head flight attendant eventually told the guy to stop talking to them, which it provoked an explosion of screaming and profanity directed at the family. The little girl was terrified, the 16-year-old. She had a panic attack. She put her head down in her mother's lap when the man allegedly slid, quote, his clammy fingers underneath her shirt and groped for the clasp on her bra. The teen was trembling, petrified, crying, terrified, leaped out of her seat and away from the man. He proceeded to place his hand then on the mother's leg and started moving his hand up the inside of her thigh. So she started screaming and she jumped out of her seat. They demanded then the flight attendants, for God's sakes, change their seats. The flight attendants allegedly said there was nothing they could do, but another male passenger volunteered to switch seats with a teen girl and sat between the drunk and the mother for the rest of the flight. When the plane landed, the flight attendants offered the woman and her daughter 5,000 free airline miles and an apology and let the guy go.
Nope.
I'd have hit him so hard it would have drive him into Tuesday.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't have stopped that?
Where are the men to stay and knock that off?
One guy volunteered to sit between them, but how is it possible he didn't grab him by the hair? I mean,
in my drinking days, I would have been beating the hell out of him at that point. By the way, we got breaking news.
Breaking news.
Two headlines on FoxNews.com. One says, Archer confirms that Joe Biden lied about knowledge of Hunter's business dealings. That's according to Comer.
Yeah.
And then the other headline is, Hunter Biden called D.C. to get Ukrainian prosecutor fired, according to Devin Archer.
The one that President Crime Family was bragging about. Saying, we're not going to get your $1 billion, eh?
You ever heard anyone, a vice president, do something like that?
No, sir.
About another country?
I have not. It's never happened. This is the worst scandal and the most corrupt crime family in the history of American politics.
It is.
I mean, seriously, think about it. Seriously. 150 banking tags. Corruption. Money laundering. There's no sort. The income is communist countries with no reason for the money. There's no explanation for it. It was just they put it in LLCs and holding companies.
And unlike the Obamas, who are getting it from bad book deals and speaking engagements, no one wants Joe to speak and is paying him $200,000 to speak, and no one's buying his damn books.
Right. So he had to do it by influence spending. Well, again, Comer, and if this, here we go.
Well, it's what Truman said. If a politician comes out richer than he went in, he's a crook.
Yeah, he did something.
He's a crook.
He had inside knowledge. He got rewarded. He got rewarded for his power. And I don't mind giving him higher salaries, too, and cutting out all, funding things.
No more being able to play the stock market.
Right. I'm saying give him a salary. We all know what it is. We all know where the money comes from. And make it, $300,000, $400,000. I don't care. I don't have a problem with that. If the graft stops, no more fundraising for stuff, no more, privileges for the things. Again, I don't have a problem with that. You should be able to pay your senators and congressmen.
They will.
Of course. It's 5:45 already. We got Pete's tweets and Skynet comedy. We got it all. Probably we'll save it for a Wednesday.
Without a dream in my heart.
Look out. No, it's good. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
I know. Typeboard.
No such thing as a mistake. We got your stones. Everything's good now. Look out. Here we go. 1967, an appeal court in London, England, gave Mick Jagger a conditional discharge and quashed Keith Richards' conviction for permitting his house to be used for the purpose of smoking weed. Actually, it was cannabis resin, which they were caught at in 1967, but it's all good because they're the Stones, man, the Stones. Quick birthday note here, Wesley Snipes. 61 years old today, Blade and a tax cheat, and got caught, went to prison for that one.
Demolition Man. You got to see it.
Oh, is that with Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah.
I think I saw part of that. Came in on it one time, so for parts of it. By the way, tell the little people about media bias and what we've just discovered on CNN's lead story today. Again, everything that's happened is the guy testifying against Hunter and Joe and the collusion and the scandal and the crime family. And so here's CNN's top story.
Trump's legal problems grow, so does his political power.
As legal problems grow, in other words, there's not anything happened today. It's not even timely news. Their lead story is not even something that happened.
And buried
it's a
halfway
comment about
down.
what he's in for.
Buried way down on the left, they talk about the illusion that maybe Biden sold.
And again, just real quickly, repeat what we think Comer's now telling the people about the testimony today, because all we heard soundbite was a Democrat liar who said, he was just talking about the weather. He had nothing to do with business collusion.
Archer confirms Joe Biden lied about knowledge of Hunter's business dealings, according to Comer. And the other thing is Hunter Biden called D.C. to get Ukrainian prosecutor fired.
Which is where the president bragged about having it done.
And we got that on video of him doing that.
Right. He was
we're literally going into another country and basically blackmailing them to do our bidding, and it's right there, and it's our vice president doing it.
It was extortion, blackmail, extortion. He said either you get rid of that prosecutor investigating my son,
right,
or you're not going to get your $1 billion.
That right then and there, he should have been kicked out of office.
That's it. He bragged about it.
They bragged about it. Mr. Big Shot.
But he was so stupid, he didn't know that he'd ever get caught knowing that Hunter was on the take from the people. That's how presumptuous these bastards are. This is how little regard they have for you and me. This is how, can you imagine the balls on these people to be pulling off what they've been doing for years.
Yeah, it's a swamp.
Unbelievable. Well, we were talking about the oldies. In fact, I'll do that right here. And we have another Flounders Funny, right?
You've yet to talk about this guy.
Oh, God. Have you seen the video? Look at the video now. There's a man who has spent $14,000 to make himself into a border
collie.
No, not a border collie, a full collie, a collie.
Yeah, a collie.
Like Lassie. And he actually has a fur costume and a head face, and he goes around on all fours.
And he gets petted. He's getting petted.
Oh, he's a man in a dog costume.
Give me a belly rub.
But what did he spend the money for? Is it just to have the costume made, or is it part of surgery?
It's a kind of a robot.
His face done?
A robot thing inside that he can move around. No, I don't think he got his face done.
All right, but he's inside. It's like he's inside a what do you call it when you take the dead body and you stuff it?
A carcass.
But no, you stuff it.
A skin.
No, you stuff the body. A time of taxidermy. It's like a taxidermy of a giant collie, and he's inside it working the mechanical to walk around.
I wonder if that's real collie fur.
Holy God! I mean, that's just what's is this? This is
Gutfeld's about to fall off his chair.
This is the contingent to the fur people.
Okay, here's that. They were talking about this morning on the show about it's disgusting, blah blah blah. I got no problem with it. It's his money. He can do whatever he wants with it. He's not hurting anybody.
No, he's an idiot. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
He's wasting his money, but you know what? That's what's called freedom.
Yeah,
and sometimes you can use freedom for stupid things.
Yeah.
He's not cutting his pecker off and pretending he's a girl.
Well, exactly. It's not like he's affecting anybody. He's not trying to get your daughter to become a dog or whatever.
Right. You want to pet him? Pet him if you don't.
If y'all were walking down the street, would you pet him?
No.
Yeah.
I'd look at him.
I want to see if it's real fur.
I'd want to talk to him. Actually, I might just see if it was actually fur or if it's.
And they were saying this morning, does he lift his leg to do his business?
A good question. Does he have any way to do it? Is it all enclosed in the costume?
There's a photo of him sitting at a table with a Coke can in front of him, and he's slurping through a straw.
Oh, my God. His Lady and the Tramp sucking a spaghetti string together. Holy crap.
You can't say tramp anymore.
No, you can't say tramp anymore. Here's a bizarre story. A Los Angeles couple suing Uber after the couple Lilith Hakoboyan and Kuchakachar Askpoyoyan
Irish kids.
they ordered a ride on Uber, and once inside the vehicle, Hakuwakaban grew nauseous and puked. The driver then got ticked off, refused to take them to their destination, and then they complained. He said, "Oh, please, I promise, we're so sorry. We'll pay you whatever you want. We'll pay you cleaning costs. We'll pay you tips. Well, it'll be worth your while. We'll compensate you for all your troubles." Instead, they say the driver became extremely aggressive, refused to take them home, and then pulled out a knife and stabbed both of them. I'm laughing. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, sure.
Stabbed both. He didn't kill him. He had like a little knife. He stabbed them both. They suffered permanent skin scarring and no longer experienced the full enjoyment of life, according to the lawsuit. So they're suing him for about $1 trillion. That kind of seems like an overreaction. Although you puke in a guy's car, I don't really think you should stab them when they offer to pay for it.
You got the good sense to lean out of the car.
Yeah. Do we have another Flounders Follies? You want to do one more here? We got time?
Absolutely.
All right, here's one. Flounders picked out something enjoyable for all of us here.
Thanks for stopping.
Pee-wee.
Some night, huh?
On this very night, 10 years ago, along the same stretch of road, in a dense fog, just like this, I saw the worst accident I ever seen. There was this sound, like a garbage truck dropped off the Empire State Building. And when they finally pulled the driver's body from the twisted, burning wreck, it looked like this. Yes, sir. That was the worst accident I ever seen.
I get off right up here.
Oh, that's a face.
That's a face she made.
We're looking at the movie clips here as we go along.
Have a nice day.
Be sure and tell them Large Marge sent ya.
Large.
A little more visual, but a classic.
Yeah, Pee-wee's great.
Didn't he go into the bar right after that?
Yep.
And he said, "Hey, everybody, Large Marge sent me," and the whole place just stops because she's dead or something.
For 20 years.
Yeah. Wee Herman passed away at 70. He had cancer for years. Again, I don't know what kind, but it obviously wasn't the quick one. And what a shame, he's only 70 years old. And speaking of age, we mentioned before about how now they've assigned somebody in Congress to bring along a cart to bring out the dead in Congress because they're getting so old. And the Babylon Bee has said, here's how you can tell the difference between whether you're in a nursing home or the United States Senate. In the nursing home, residents alert a nurse when they've soiled themselves. In the Senate, residents wave to the camera as if nothing happened when they've soiled themselves. In the nursing home, surprisingly, plagued by STDs. In the Senate, not surprisingly plagued by STDs. In the nursing home, aides tell residents which domino to play. In the Senate, aides tell residents which country to invade. In the nursing home, pudding and smoothies in the cafeteria at 4. In the Senate, pudding, adrenochrome, and roasted flies in the cafeteria at 4. Nursing home, smells of death and fecal matter. Senate, same if the president stops by. And nursing home, a bunch of old, angry people yelling about missing Matlock. The Senate, a bunch of old, angry people yelling about missing Matlock. Anyway, just a little timeliness, just for the fun of it. 5:58 already. God, I can't believe it. I hate to end on this. In fact, I don't think I will. There were O'Hare Airport. 18 German Shepherds were taken to a police dog training facility from Chicago's O'Hare Airport, driven to Michigan City, Indiana. The driver got stuck in a traffic jam. The air conditioning unit failed, but he didn't know it because the dogs were in a separate cargo area in the back. He finally heard the dogs barking and crying and he pulled over and he stopped the vehicle at a convenience store and immediately started getting the dogs out of there. And the people were all over, were trying to help and trying to, I mean, it was a horrible situation. And at least 8 police dogs are dead. It was an incident, not an act of animal cruelty or neglect, a mechanical failure of the air conditioning unit in the back, and he never knew it because it was in the cargo area. So they have to stop doing that now.
You're going to end the show on that?
No. I'm going to end the show.
Leave them laughing, as we always say. Jesus.
End the show.
No pressure.
On this.
Go shoot myself now. You got anything else over there, Mr. Happy?
I'm going to go to the store and get some wooden matches and some unsalted butter. And I'm going to come back here tomorrow and make a whole show out of it, Mr. Snarty Face.
That explains the cobbler.
Yeah.
He used to use salted butter.
Oh, my God, man. Well, it's almost 6 o'clock, so that's all I got. In the meantime, we'll try to do better, or I'll try to do better.
Go Braves.
Hoorah, I got to go. You're killing me. Look out.